From the Butler Bowl on the campus of Butler University, Grand Slam Incorporated, Indianapolis Cablevision, and American Cable present College Football 1985. The 1985 Top Dog Game. Today's NCAA Division II game is between the 9th-ranked Indiana Central Greyhounds and the 13th-ranked Butler Bulldogs. Good afternoon. I'm Pete Bell, along with Coach Bob Springer from Washington High School. Coach, damp, wet afternoon for football.
Pete, it is that, but I don't think the people from either team mind, because both teams has a lot of going for them today, possibly a playoff berth, a conference championship, and for Indiana Central, they have not been undefeated since 1953, and their coach back then was Dave Shaw, who was a great athlete in this area, who's now the principal of Seymour High School. So I don't think they're worrying about the weather.
Well, you know, Coach, we sat and we looked at the wind blow, we've looked at the teams warm up on the field, and we've talked about the records, we've talked about the similarity. Let's let you evaluate what these two teams are about this afternoon.
Okay, Pete, we can start off, and they are just exactly alike. They run the same type of offense, a split in with a wide receiver to the other side. They both play a 5-2 defense with a monster, and sometimes they rotate into a free safety. They both started out with senior quarterbacks. Both teams lost their senior quarterbacks, and they now have young quarterbacks that have brought them through the season and made this game possible. Their linebackers, both of them have broken their arm during the course of the year. Both coaches are named Bill. The athletic directors are named Bill. And when you go through the yardage, it's just about exactly from first down all the way through passing yardage.
I think there were only about 5 or 6 yards separating them in offense, rushing offense. I think their first down statistics were within 1, 2, 3, or 4 of the other. So really two very evenly matched teams, but teams with different things at stake this afternoon.
Yes, and I think in talking to the coaches, they felt that they do the same thing, and this game will be a player's game, not so much a coach's game, because the kids have run the same offense and the same defense, and they'll be familiar, and I think the coaches have kind of put the game in the hands of the players.
Well, you know, a game like this, really, I guess you can throw records aside. These teams have played 19 times now, and every year, be they fate, no one really can project who's going to win this game.
I think last year was a good example of that. Indiana Central lost their best receiver, Brian Fogg, before the game, and Dave Armour was hurt at the halftime, and Crowell came in the second half, and Indiana Central was still able to win the game with all those adversities.
That's the truth, Coach. And speaking of adversity and speaking of similarity, you know, both these teams experienced in the offseason some very, very tragic occurrences. Indiana Central losing Harris, their prime receiver, in an automobile accident. The young man from Butler, who was one of the hostages in that hostage situation. The similarities are almost frightening.
Oh, yeah, and that's what everyone's talking about. But, again, I think it's a great tribute to both universities because, you know, for both of them to be in this city and they both recruit primarily from the same schools, this is going to be a game for a little bit of prestige and who's going to be able to get out during the road and get those good players in.
Let's talk about recruiting a little bit. You have coached against a lot of the kids that are playing here today and actually coached some of the kids that we'll see here today.
Well, 3 of the young men I had on my all-star team 2 years ago. Mike Higwood is a defensive back for Butler. Todd Jones is an offensive tackle. And also the one kid, David Boland from Central, who's a backup running back.
Well, Coach, let's break for a moment here and go down to the field with our other broadcast member, Milt Thompson, who has coaches interviews for us.
Thanks, Pete. We're down here on the sidelines with Coach Lynch and Coach Bless. It's a little blustery down here for the Top Dog contest. Coach Lynch, you have the home court advantage here this afternoon. What's this wind going to do in terms of being a factor in the contest?
Oh, I think once the ball game gets going, it won't have too much of a factor. It's gusting a little bit right now, but it's probably going to change direction as it goes through the afternoon, so I don't think it'll have a great bearing on the ball game.
Are there any last-minute injuries that our fans might want to know about?
No, we're in good shape and ready to go.
Coach, I wish you a lot of luck today, and I think you're going to be ready for the Top Dog game today.
Well, thank you.
Coach Bless, you're ready to go against the Bulldogs this afternoon. What kind of offense you have in store for them, given the nature of this wind?
Well, we certainly hope one that scores a lot of points. Like Bill said, I don't think the wind's a big factor. It is gusting right now, but looks like weather's going to change pretty quick on us here.
Well, you beat Butler last year down at your place. Now you come up here with the Butler home fans out there available. Is there any change in strategy being the visiting team?
Well, I think it's the players on the field that's going to make the difference.
Well, Coach, we're looking forward to an excellent ball game. We wish you a lot of luck today. Back up to you, Pete and Bob.
Thank you, Milt. Coach, let's talk about some of these key players today. And I guess the first name that's going to have to come up is going to be Tom Collins.
Well, Pete, there's no question about that. It's hard to believe, but he is the leader of pass interceptions in the history of NCAA football with 37. Now, that's Division I, II, the leader.
That's the whole football.
That's right. Now, that's quite a record, and that's quite an honor.
And, you know, he played a very important part in last year's game. He had 4 interceptions last year in this meeting.
Yes, and I think one of the matchups...
Let's pause for a moment, Coach, for our national anthem. And that's the Butler Bulldog Marching Band. Well, Coach, we're winding down. We're getting real close to game time. But let's look again. Indiana Central's ranked 9th in Division II. Butler ranked 13th. Indiana Central with an outside chance of making the playoffs. Butler, I think, has I guess you could call them a long shot.
Yes, I would think so. I think if Indiana Central wins the football game, they will get into the playoff because they normally take 2 teams from the district that they are in, and they take 8 teams. Butler could win the football game, and probably it would be a long, long shot for them to get into the playoffs, Pete.
And the teams are starting to come out of the dressing room now, Coach, getting ready to warm up. And let's take a look at the Butler offensive unit, and we'll try to set the teams for you. At center, 6'2", 220 pounds, number 66, George Dury. At the guard, 6'3", 220 pounds, Rusty Melizzo. And at the other guard, 6 foot, 200 pound, Mike Fuse. At the tackles, number 72, Todd Jones, and number 74, Bill Doss. At the tight end is Phil Jensen, and one wide receiver is a guy that you really think a whole lot of, number 19, Paul Page, 5'8", 150 pounder from Ron Colley. In the backfield, we talked about him. Number 5, Rod Cutter, a sophomore, 6'4", 185 pounds from Noblesville. The running backs, Jay Barnhorst, 6'1", 225 pounder. And the other running back, number 32, Todd Reef, 5'10", 195 pounds. Coach, you want to set the defense across from them?
Okay, they'll be in a 5-man front, Pete. At the nose guard will be number 64, Keith Ransom, 6 foot, 200 pounds. At defensive right tackle, Trent Greener. He's from New Albany, 6'2" and 220. At right end from here at home, Ron Colley, number 84, Danny Ane. He's 6'1", 215. At the left tackle, number 92, Thurman Montgomery. He's 6'4", 225 from Broadville High School. And the leading sacker on the team at left end, number 48, Pete Schwartz, 6'1", 205. The inside linebackers, number 45, Troy Rutan from South Perry. He's 6'1" and 180 pounds. On the right side, inside linebacker Dave Jester, 6'2", 215. He's from Cincinnati, LaSalle High School. One of the defensive corners, number 30, Steve Wood from Pike High School. His brother's one of the coaches on the Indiana Central staff. Free safety Marcus Johnson, 6'2", 195 from Pike. And of course the guy we're talking about, number 34, Tom Collins from Franklin, Indiana, 6'2" and 190 pounds. And the other cornerback, 29, John Kennedy from Roncalli, 6 foot, 195, a 5-year man.
Matchup size real well. You know, there's some interesting facts on your screen about the Butler Bowl. This is a relatively large stadium for a Division II school with a capacity of 20,000 people. And the thing I like best about it, Coach, of course I'm an old timer, I like that natural grass. I think that's fantastic.
Well, this is really home for everyone that's ever lived in Indianapolis any period of time. It's historical. It's beautiful. The playing field is just great, as you can see from the picture, and the crowd's starting to pour in, and I don't think it'd be a better place to spend an afternoon.
Let's set the other team for you. Let's set the Indiana Central offense against the Butler defense. And on offense, in the middle, at 6'1", 220 pounds, number 60. Let's go down to the field for our officials, Coach.
Okay, we have a great set of officials. The referee, Tom Bolson, and they were on the game last year and did a great job. Umpire will be Phil Hardrick, line judge Cliff Spears, the lineman Mike Caskey, and Jerry Larison will be the back judge.
Okay, and back to that Indiana Central offense. Number 60, 6'1", 220 pound Gary Puckett at the guards. From Roncalli High School, 6'2", 240, number 63, Sean Saunders. And 6'2", 215 pounder, number 55, Otto Clements. At the tackles, Andy Maps, and that's a name, Coach, that I think is very familiar at Indiana Central. He's 6'1", 225 pounds, and another kid from Roncalli. And at the other tackle, as I gave him Sean Saunders. Wide receiver, number 80, the game breaker, 6 foot, 180 pounds, Brian Fogg, and he's a kid that wasn't around last year during this game. Let's go down to the field for the coin toss.
Call is tails. We have a heads. Butler has won a toss. Butler is elected to receive. Which goal do you want to defend? I put your back to your goals.
Well, as you can see, Butler has won the toss. They've elected to receive the ball. And Coach, it looks like this one's about to get underway.
Yeah, Pete, I tell you what, they're really excited. You could tell by both teams. The whole football team went to the middle for the coin toss.
Well, you know, as we've said, a game like this, you throw records out the door. This is played strictly on emotion. Not to say that there isn't a whole lot of talent down there.
Well, there's a lot of talent, but I think when you're emotional, you play better because your week's practice, your mind's on the game, you're concentrating, you're watching films, you're learning the scouting reports, you know what the opponent's going to do and what he looks like, and when you're emotionally into anything, you do it much better.
You know, Coach, as the game has progressed from the time that you played and I played, Coach, we're going to pause right here for a moment, and we'll be right back.
Who needs a hot dog? Hey, pop me another cold one.
Don't you think you ought to slow down a little?
Give me one for the road.
Hey, are you okay to drive?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Drunk driving is no picnic.
Number 30, Steve Wood.
And we're back, about to get this one underway.
Today, number 7, Marcus Johnson. And
Back for the kickoff, number 7, Roger McCutcheon, and number 21, that's Mickey Naylor.
That's been a familiar name with Butler. He's from Martinsville and played for Bill Sidewitz, and Mickey Naylor has been their leading rusher 2 straight years, and he's a fine little football player, I'll tell you.
And this one is underway. It's a deep kick into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback.
You can see what the wind's going to do to that football because that ball was about 8 to 10 yards deep in the end zone, and the wind is out of the south, and this first quarter Indiana Central will have the favors of the wind, and we can see what's going to happen here early in the game.
Well, Central set in their traditional 52 defense, and I expect to see them to stunning just a little bit today.
I imagine they'll start out playing it pretty straight, but you know they've got keys, and they'll either be keying a tight end or a remaining back or a certain individual. But one of our matchups has to be number 19, Page, and Collins, number 34 for Central.
Number 5, Cutter sets him down. Barnhorst and Reef behind him, and a handoff to Barnhorst, who breaks it off the left side for about a 5-yard gain.
Well, they started with the run up the middle, and they got nice yardage. He almost broke that free. He had about 4 or 5 yards there, Pete, so it brings us to 2nd and 5.
Wide outs to both sides. I formation. The give again to Barnhorst, and Barnhorst went off tackle again, and I think they ran the same play twice there, didn't they, Coach?
They sure did. It's a little trap, the right guard trapping to his left, and he got another 4 or 5 yards. So really what you want to try and do is get a couple of first downs against that wind, and then if you do have to kick the ball away, you won't lose all your field position, Pete. They have 2 tight ends, and they brought Page out of the game, so you can just about bet this will be a run.
And they've got that full house backfield, too, there, Coach.
Yes, sir.
And that's just straight ahead football, Coach, and I think they got it.
Yeah, they got the first down, just a little power play with the fullback and the right halfback leading through the hole. So I think that's what Bill Lynch wanted to do. He wanted to say, now look, let's get a couple of first downs, and then if we punt, we won't lose our good field
position. Well, that also lets the kids settle down a little bit. I don't care how long you played and what level you play, you still got jitters.
You better believe that, even coaching after 30 years.
One wide receiver to the near side of the field. Quick pitch to number 21. And he stopped right at the line of scrimmage.
That was a good play by Rybardy. He is the leading sacker on the Indiana Central team, number 84, the right end, Mark Rybardy. And it was a great play. They ran it to the split inside, and they did not pick him up.
And that was 21, Mickey Naylor, carrying the ball. And now we've got a different one. We've got single set back, wide receivers to both sides of the field. And a handoff up the middle to Barnhorst.
Yeah, Pete, they came back with the same action on the first 2 plays of the game on that trap. They just spread it out. They had 3 receivers to the right and 1 to the left with only 1 remaining back, and they tried to trap with a different look.
5 on the play. 3rd and 8 for the Bulldogs from the 33.
Dury brings them out of the huddle. Split backfield. And Cutter's back to pass. He's looking, he's under a little pressure, and he's sacked there by number 91, Trent Greener.
I think we have a holding call. I saw the umpire throw the flag, and normally when it's the umpire, you get holding. But I think in this situation, Indiana Central will refuse the penalty, and they'll let them punt it away.
Well, if they were holding, they weren't doing a real good job of it because Greener broke through there. I think they held the wrong man.
You might be right. They say if you get caught for holding, you should go back and hold the second time because they never call it twice in a row.
Jay Barnhorst is back to punt. And Culpepper, who is number 4 in the nation.
Holding against Butler, decline, 4th down.
And Brad Mock are back to receive. And I'm sorry, I think that's Brian Fogg they've got back there.
Oh,
and
bad
a short
kick.
punt.
Oh, my golly. Oh, what a way to start on defense.
That kick was off the side of his foot, and I'll tell you, that puts the pressure on your defense right away, doesn't it, Coach?
It sure does, and you feel sorry for the kicker because there was some wind up there in his face, and he was trying hard, and he just let that foot get turned up too much, and off it went.
Well, Gary Puckett brings him out. Tom Crowell under center. I backfield. And again to the second back through. That's John Bender.
I think we have motion there. It looked like the fullback Henthorne, number 31, Brad Henthorne, was moving for Indiana Central, and that's what he did call, Pete. Tom Bolson, the referee, called that one.
Well, I'll tell you, that one was diagnosed well by the Butler defense. They had stopped that for no gain. And both these teams, they're very similar in their play calling initially, Coach.
Yeah, I think you'll see a lot of that because they both have about the same philosophy. The only difference is one guy's been coaching 14 years and the other only a year.
Coach, what does that mean? And from a coach's standpoint, is it easier for you as a veteran to outthink a young fellow like Billy Lynch?
Well, it's going what you have to think with.
I backfield again, wide receivers to both sides. That was a good play call. Crowell just took the snap, faked to the man going through the line, and stood up and popped it on a look pattern.
We can see it here, and your matchup is going to be Dwayne Branson, number 25, against number 80, Fogg. That's one of the matchups that we're going to see all day. But he faked the run into the line and tried to hit Fogg, but he was well covered by Branson.
Well, this is a definite passing situation, Coach.
2nd and 15 definitely would be.
Split backfield, Crowell underneath, takes the snap. Little play action. He's looking, and his receiver fell down.
And again, Pete, if you look, there's number 25, Branson, over there with Fogg, number 80, and that's going to be one of our matchups we're going to see all day.
Well, I think Crowell was looking for Fogg on that. Fogg ran an out pattern and slipped. And, you know, we didn't talk about the condition of this field, Coach, but it rained hard here this morning.
There's no question. In the middle of the field is a lot worse than what it is on the 2 hash marks to the sideline. So anytime they're working in the middle of the field, they're going to lose some of their footing.
Well, we've got a 3rd down and 15.
It's kind of a big play for Central because they'd like to get something going, you know, where they get close enough, maybe kick a field goal.
Wide outs to both sides. Got a slot back set up. And there goes number 82 in motion. That's Dan Jester. Crowell back, and he's got a man right over the middle for a pickup of about 9. And that's number 82, Dan Jester, the motion man that caught the ball.
I think Butler felt good about keeping him in front. Okay, you won't see it back again. Here comes the motion man. He curls in over the middle, but he was well covered, and I think Butler feels real good about that because they're going to force him to punt and give up the ball.
Number 17, James Patton, back to punt. And Patton's punt's out about the 10.
Well, Pete, it's going about the way we expected. I think the biggest concern the coaches have now, they've both had penalties, and in a championship game, penalties will kill you. Those are really dumb mistakes, and that maybe when they settle down and get that out of their system, then they'll be able to move the football a little bit better.
Well, Butler starting again from deep in its own territory. Cutter underneath, I formation, wide outs to both sides. And that play was well diagnosed. Naylor had the ball, number 21, and he had nowhere to go. That whole defensive front of Indiana Central, led by Greener and Ramson, were in on the stop.
It seems, Pete, that they're trying to run away from the tight end. Now, what their philosophy is, I don't know, but it looks to me like they're wanting to run to the split end where there is no tight end to block.
Split backfield, wide outs to both sides. Cutter underneath. And an excellent defensive play by number 49, Dan Jester. He read that one well, Coach. He was in the backfield before the running back, Mickey Naylor, had the ball.
And again, Pete, they're running to that split inside, and I don't understand their philosophy, but there's something they've seen in the films, and it's part of the game plan. For some reason, they think they can move the ball on that side of the line.
Well, a big down for Butler. 3rd down and 10 on their 10. And they stay in the eye. And Cutter is back to pass, rolling to the near side of the field, looking, and he's got a little pressure, and he's going to be sacked. And I think he's going to get intentional grounding. That linebacker, number 49, Dave Jester, was in there on him applying the pressure.
Yeah, Tom Bolson, the referee, did call intentional grounding, I think, but it was pretty close because he did have a receiver that was breaking to the inside. So, you know, that comes down to judgment. Let's look at it again. He sprints out here, gets a good block right there from Mickey Naylor. Then he gets forced into the sideline. And yeah, probably was intentional grounding. Okay, thank you, Mr. Bolson.
Wiped off the flag, so...
And the punt team for Butler comes on again.
Okay, we kind of thought maybe that wasn't intentional grounding, didn't we, Pete?
Yeah, we did.
We won't get paid for refereeing, but we can comment anyway, can't we?
Back to receive the punt, Warren Culpepper, number 2, and number 80, Brian Fogg, and Jay Barnhorst, number 30, puts it up. And again, a short punt taken by Fogg and returned for about 5-7 yards.
That was a great hit by number 72, Todd Jones from Lebanon, and I had the privilege of coaching him in the All-Star game. He's a second-year college player, and they tell me he's going to be a great one for him.
Well, Indiana Central now starts with a first down on the Butler 33-yard line, and you know Indiana Central's had good field position with both their possessions.
Yes, Pete, we have 9 minutes left, 9 minutes 54 seconds, and like I say, no one's made a first down yet.
Crowell looking for someone to throw the ball to, and he's got number 86, Tom Williams, for a first down.
Well-executed play. They faked the little blast-off tackle and hit the tight end on about an 8 or 10-yard square out. Okay, here we go again there. He fakes it, the running play. His tight end runs an out pattern. Got 12 yards, Pete. I thought he got about 10, but he ended up getting 12 on the play.
First down and 10 from about the 21-yard line. Crowell looks it over. Moves his tight end, Tom Williams, to the opposite side of the field and hands off to number 22, John Bender. Flags fly all over the place.
All over the place. See, Indiana Central is getting down there in good position, and I think we're going to have motion again against Indiana Central.
Looks like a procedure call.
Yep.
And, you know, as you said, Coach, those kind of things really do hurt.
Oh, sure, see, because right now they're in field goal position with a couple of more yards. And you don't want
to... Second down.
You don't want to go way down there without getting something. If it's 3 points or whatever, because when you get down there and you do not have success, then the kids kind of lose their confidence.
Well, we've got second and 10 from about the 22-yard line. Crowell underneath, eye backfield, wideouts to both sides of the field. And just straight ahead, a little blast play. Good blocking at the point of attack, Coach.
Yes.
And that was number
31, Brad Himpone, the fullback, Pete. And we might tell the fans that Kenny Gillum, the leading rusher from Indiana Central, is not playing today. He was hurt earlier in the season, and they have a little halfback in there named Dink Bender, number 22, replacing Kenny Gillum.
And right after this play, Coach, we're going to go down to the field and talk to our cohort, Milt.
That's great.
Eye backfield. Hand off to Bender, trying to get outside. Breaks one tackle, breaks two tackles, and is finally brought down at about the 4-yard line. And good running by John Bender. How about it, Milt? How is it down there?
Yeah, Pete, it's down here. There was a little concern about the weather prior to the game. It's starting to pick up with a little bit of rain. Doesn't seem to be affecting the hard-hitting play down here on the field. Looks like they're trying to play to the advantage of the wind. Both teams are trying to take advantage of some field position. A couple of short punts by Butler has put them in a little tough position. Indiana Central looks like they're driving in for the touchdown. Back up to you, Pete.
Thanks a lot, Milt.
That was a great run by Dink Bender on the last one. That was a great individual effort.
It certainly was, and they're split backfield now.
That was a real good play there. Reverse pivot on a dive, and it looks to me, Pete, that the offensive line from Central is getting off on that ball real good, and they're getting their blocks right onto the defensive man.
Well, they're popping out real good. That was number 31, Brad Hempthorne, carrying the ball.
He's a great back. He played all last year for him. Played at Franklin Central for Chuck Stevens.
Well, we've got second and goal.
Here we go.
And that was number 42, Makowitz, with the ball. And we've got a third down.
My golly, we thought he got in, too.
I thought he was in.
Must be close. Well, we're going to have our first timeout. It's an official's timeout for some reason, and I don't know why, Pete. Okay, now he's going to go with it. Butler goes into a goal line defense, which is almost an 11-man front.
And Lakowitz, number 42, he's a linebacker. And we've got a touchdown. Crowell just took that ball in himself. He didn't take a chance of handing it off.
I tell you, Pete, if you just watch that line of Central, it looks like they're almost getting off ahead of the ball, but evidently they're not.
Well, they're executing very well in the trenches, Coach. And although all the linebackers and defensive backs.
Now here, well, we got the end of it. We didn't get the line, but you can see how far he did get into the end zone. He made it by a yard or so.
Without those guys up front, nothing happens. And here's the try for extra point. Kick is up. Kick is good. And the score, Indiana Central 7, Butler nothing. Well, that was an impressive drive by Indiana Central, Coach. Although they started with very good field position, they had a little problem with penalties, but they still got the ball in.
I think two things, Pete, of apparent. Number 22, Dink Bender, made a great run to allow them to pick up the first down, and the offensive line of Central has definitely beaten the defense.
Coach, we're going to pause for just a second. We'll be right back.
Every 18 seconds, a woman gets beaten in this country. 39% of all high school seniors are problem drinkers. Mental disorders will disrupt the lives of 19% of American adults in the next 6 months. Our difficulties sometimes sound insurmountable. They're not. If you want to do something about our problems, remember, the way to stop them is to become united. United Way. Thanks to you, it works for all of us.
And we're back. We were a little late getting back. Nothing real exciting happened. We had a kickoff and short return. Ball is on the 20.
Butler's got the same problem, Pete. They're starting from their own 20 with their wind in their face.
Barnhorst and Naylor in the backfield. And Coach, that looked like an old Ohio State play to me, like a little cross butt there to Naylor. Well diagnosed by the.
I've really been impressed with Indiana Central's defense. They've evidently had a good week's practice, and they know exactly what to expect on each formation.
Well, they're getting off the ball real well, I'll tell you that. Yeah. And at this point, both their lines, offensively and defensively, are dominating.
Yes.
Split backfield again. And there's a fumble, and it looks like Central has the ball. Thurman Montgomery on that fumble recovery. And Thurman's a local boy, 6'4", 225-pounder from Broad Ripple.
Now Butler's defense really got to dig in and do some good.
That's right. They really need to stop them here, Coach.
Yeah, if they don't, it's going to be a tough climb uphill.
Tom Crowley underneath, eye backfield.
What a run.
And I'll tell you, that was an excellent run on the part of Bender. That was a 20-yard touchdown run by John Bender.
What a great play. They ran a counter option, Pete, and then pitched it to the split inside. And I can't say enough about that running back, Dink Bender, number 22, because he broke about 4 or 5 tackles. Let's watch him. Here he comes right up the middle, and bang, he comes out of that mess and into the end zone. That's a great effort.
And number 3, Mike Warner on to try for the extra point. Kick is up. Kick is good. Indiana Central leads now by a score of 14-0 over Butler.
And Pete, we still have 6 minutes and 36 seconds in the first quarter, so that means if Butler doesn't move the football, Central is going to get it back one more time with the wind in their favor.
That's absolutely correct, Coach. And I think, though, that Coach Lynch is going to have to settle his troops down a little bit. I think he's had a couple things go wrong. First, his kicking game hasn't been as strong as he had anticipated. We've had a couple, I guess you could say, kicking errors, 2 bad kicks that allowed Central pretty good field position. And then again, another error, a fumble that led directly to a touchdown.
Yeah, see, we had the fumble, and then the quarterback got sacked back there. So they've had some problems getting anything to work for them.
Warner tees it up. Naylor and Sebo waiting for the kickoff. And Sebo back into the end zone for a touchback, and they'll bring this one out to the 20.
Here we go again. 1st and 10 on the 20-yard line with the wind in your face. What are you going to do, Coach?
They're going to have to get some good line play and move the ball 10, 15 yards up the field to give themselves some flexibility so they can throw the ball.
Well, they definitely need to move from that part of the field. Number one, they're chewing it up. But number two, if he doesn't get something going, it's going to be tougher on the defense.
Split backfield. And Cutter back to pass, throws to his tight end, Brad Prather over the middle. Prather's up to about the 31-yard line, good for a first down.
That was a great play call, a little fake run, and here we're going to see it on a replay, Pete. He fakes into the line and hits his tight end right over the middle, and he got in between the linebackers and in front of the secondary, and it was well-executed play.
Well, Central was zoning that time, and I think he really just split the seam on that zone, didn't he, Coach?
Right.
Central in their 52 defense. Handoff to number 21, Mickey Naylor. And he is stopped for no gain.
I think they brought another player in on us that time. I think that was 22, but I might be wrong. Maybe there was some dirt on there. But it looked to me, Pete,
Kevin Kazmarek, that's a 5'9" fullback.
Okay. They might have been running plays there.
There's a flag on the play. And that was almost an outstanding play, Coach. I sort of had to stop, but number 80 really made a valiant attempt. That's Phil Jensen to get that football.
There's no question, but we got another holding penalty, and that's a biggie. What they made on that pass, they're going to go now into what, about a 2nd and 20, so that really hurts. And they're talking to the defensive captain from Central, so you know it's holding against Butler.
That's Trent Greener, number 91, their defensive captain down there.
Illegal hand position, 5-yard penalty, 2nd down. I didn't get it.
Well, that's not as bad. Now we're into 2nd and 15. They could possibly make that up, but when you get down to 2nd and 20, that's a little bit more difficult.
Well, number 27, Mike Newborn, flanker, brings the play in. Split backfield again. Cutter looking for help. And an excellent catch. An outstanding catch. And that was his tight end again, number 86, Brad Prather, and really an outstanding catch.
That really was. He was off balance, reaching way up over his head, and his body was unprotected. And we're going to see it here on the replay, Pete. Here's Cutter back. He does a good job here, but watch the catch. Isn't that a great catch?
And I'll tell you, number 7, Eric Sebo, the tailback, and number 32, Todd Reef, gave him some time to pass the ball. They did very good blocking back here.
Yes, they did.
Reef and Sebo, the setback. Both of them out of the pattern. And there he is again to number 86, Brad Prather, with a flag on the play. Prather has a first down.
They came back to that same pass cut they went to earlier, but they moved the tight end to the left side of the line, and they got him in between the linebackers and the secondary. So they did a great job on play calling there. Give one to Billy Lynch there. We're going to catch a replay, I think. Here he throws it right over in between linebackers and in front of the halfback.
And that's a big mark off against Indiana Central.
They got him for a late hit or unsportsmanlike conduct, whatever you want to call it, but that tacks on 15 more, Pete.
And for the first time this evening, Butler has good field position, starting now at the Indiana Central 22. Sabo and Reef in the backfield, split backfield. Hand off to Sabo. Sabo goes off left tackle for about 5 yards.
That was a little cross-buck trap, and it worked very successfully. Faked it to the fullback coming to the right, and the right halfback sliced into the left off of a trap of the right guard. So that was a nice little misdirection play.
And number 2, Wayne Smith, brings the play in from the sideline. Split backfield again, and they seem to be staying with Reef and Sabo in the backfield. Cutter underneath. Sabo in motion. Little flat pass, good for a first down, and Sabo's got some running room. And he's got a touchdown, and Butler is right back in it.
It didn't take long. That was a nice play. That was well executed. They ran what we call a clear pattern for the motion man. He went in motion, and what he got was a clear from the tight end, and Cutter was able to get it to him. Here we go, right here, just a little 5-yard pass. That ended up being 25 yards.
Well, you know, the linebacker, if I'm not mistaken, had responsibility on that play, and he was a little late getting there, wasn't he, Coach?
Well, he might have got screened off by the tight end just a little bit.
He's going to attempt the extra point for the Bulldogs. Rob Cutter will hold.
Kick is up, kick is good. And the score? Indiana Central 14, Butler 7, and we've got 4 minutes and 12 seconds left to play in the first quarter.
We're going to get the replay one more time. There the short passes. You could see Page screen there for him and Sebo down the sideline. But did you see number 19 ran a little clear pattern, and we had our motion man come right off of it. Very well executed play.
Well, you know, it looked halfway through the first quarter, it looked like we were in for a rout, but Butler has rebounded, and we're going to have a ball game this afternoon.
Yeah, Butler's having a lot more fun now. Now they're having fun, they say.
Jenkins tees it up. A short kick taken by number 32, Todd Reef, and Reef returns it for about 5-7 yards.
Pete, you can really tell the strength of that wind because that kickoff only went to about the 20-yard line.
Indiana Central with a first down at their own 26-yard line.
4 minutes and 6 seconds left in the first quarter.
Crowell brings them out. I formation. Handoff straight up the middle to Brad Hinthorn, and Hinthorn runs for about 9 yards.
You know, Pete, I've been impressed with Hinthorn last year in this game and again in this year's game. He's really had big games both times against Butler.
I call that 9, but that was a first down, a 10-yard run. I formation, wide outs to both sides of the field. A handoff again to Hinthorn, and Hinthorn moves up the field again for about 3-4 yards.
Central's offensive line has to be given a lot of credit because they are doing a good job. They have Sanders in there, Puckett, Otto, Mappus, Vormore, and Tom Williams.
And they're getting off the ball very quickly.
They sure are.
And that was a gain of 5. And they're staying in the eye. Butler in its 52 defense. Pitch to number 22, Bender, trying to turn the corner. And Bender gains about 3 yards.
Again, he really stuck his nose in there, and he said, I've come to play in this game.
Well, he squares those shoulders up and drops that head, and he's going to punish them. Whoever comes up to hit him is going to get hit. Ball on the 45.
He's only a freshman, too.
We've got a third down and about 2. Nowhere. An excellent defensive play by number 6, Joe Eaton.
They're doing what Butler was doing earlier in the game. They're trying to run to the split inside where you have one less blocker.
Also in on the play, number 43, Rod Button.
The Butler's coach thinks Bunt might be a professional candidate.
Well, he's got the size. He's 6'1", 215 pounds.
That's good size for a linebacker.
And again, a short punt. Rolls dead at about the 18-yard line.
Butler has 2 minutes and 2 seconds to put up with the win, and then they're going to get it in their favor for a while. So I'm sure that they'll try and run the clock down, and at least if they do have to kick, they can kick with the win, Pete.
Today's game is brought to you by Grand Slam Incorporated, sports and entertainment management consultants. Cutter underneath, I formation, wide, 2 wide outs to the near side of the field. And number 7, Eric Sabo with the ball, and he's stacked up at the line of scrimmage for no gain. As a matter of fact, he might have lost one on that one, Coach.
Yeah, they didn't move the defensive line off the line at all, and they penetrated, and he lost about 2 full yards on that one. So, again, I think what Butler would like to do is be able to kick with the wind.
Mike Newborn brings the play in and then flanks to the near side of the field. Split backfield. Cutter tried to get the draw developed that time, handed the ball off to Sabo. No place to go. The defense read it well.
I would imagine if Butler don't make the first down, Central might call timeout and make him kick against the wind. That might be one strategy that we could kind of look for here.
Well, we got about 1 minute and 5 seconds left, Coach. And I guess at this point, strategy does come into play.
Yeah, when the wind's this strong, I think it would be a good call, really.
Who would know better than you, Coach? 202 wins under your belt. Split backfield. Well, that was a handoff to Sabo, trying to go off tackle. He stacked up for a gain about 2 yards on that play, but he didn't get back to the original line of scrimmage. And, Coach, you're going to have to tell me why you call a play like that under those circumstances other than to run the clock out.
Well, he was trying to run the clock down. He doesn't want another big mistake down in his own territory. Central will not have to call timeout because Butler has to get the play off before the quarter's over.
And there's a timeout.
Butler had to call it, though. They don't have enough players.
And we are seeing just errors, Coach, just mental errors.
Yeah, well, you know, a player should never allow that to happen to his football team. When you're supposed to be on a specialty team, that's one of your responsibilities, and you should be out there. That's called being in the game.
You think Coach Lynch will have some words for big number 72 at halftime?
Well, whoever the specialty coach is, I'm sure they're going to be very unhappy because whenever you have to call a timeout and you're going to need it later in the half, it doesn't make you too happy.
You know, Butler's established they can move the ball. And, hey, Coach, here's a look at the conference standings. And, you know, this is a crucial game with Indiana Central at 4-0 and Butler at 4-1, Ashland at 4-1.
Yes, it is, Pete. If Butler wins, they would tie with Ashland. If Indiana Central wins, they win it outright. So it's a big game both ways.
Jay Barnhorst, number 30, back to punt. Back to receive, number 80, Brian Fogg. And number 2, Warren Culpepper. And again, a short kick. Fogg lets it roll, and it rolls dead at about the 38-yard line.
It's hard to believe that the wind is that big a factor, Pete, but that's 2 very, very poor punts in a row. So, again, Butler will be starting their defensive team with not very good field position.
Barnhorst had a lot of pressure that time, too. That punt was almost blocked. Crowd brings them up. I backfield. Butler in their 52. Stands up, fakes it. And he was trying to hit number 86, Tom Williams, on a look pattern. And I don't think Tom looked quick enough.
Well, I'm not sure Tom Williams knew what was happening there. We're going to see the replay, but it looks almost like he stopped. I don't know what happened to him, but that was very catchable. Williams. They went back to the trap again, Pete.
That's right. They gave that ball to number 31, Brad Hinthorn. And linebackers, the Butler linebackers were blitzing that time. Button and A were blowing in there. I think they just kind of jammed it up.
With the wind there, I thought he might go for the home run.
That's the end of the first quarter with the score Indiana Central 14, Butler nothing. We'll be back in just a second.
Miami Dolphin quarterback Dan Marino for Kiwanis International.
Not every young boy is able to fulfill a dream of becoming a National Football League quarterback. That's why underprivileged children are a Kiwanis concern. Take the ball today and help your local Kiwanis club uplift our underprivileged children. Build better lives through involvement in Kiwanis.
The preceding message has been a public service announcement brought to you by your local Kiwanis club.
And, Coach, we've got a big third down coming up here.
Yes, I think the complexion of the game might change a little bit because now Butler is going to be able to have the win. You can see the statistics. Indiana Central 3 first downs, Butler's 4. But look at the rushing yardage for Central, and then look at the passing yardage for Butler. So they're almost identical.
There's a quick pitch. That was Bender trying to turn it up.
They're probably going to have to kick it, but there's a possibility 4th and 4. You know, you might be in 4-down territory here, and I think he could almost take a chance without punting the ball because the best he could do maybe is gain 12, 15 yards. I think they're going to go for it.
Well, you know, that trap with Hinthorn has worked very effectively this afternoon, and it's been a 3-4 yard play every time they've run it.
Yeah, but the only thing about that, they're doing it on first down when they're not expecting to run as much. But you get into 4th and 4, the defense will be, you know, a little bit more lookful for a running play.
So you're going to tell me to look for Bender outside or for a quick pass outside?
Well, you better look for the gray hair on Bill Bless's head because this is what you get paid for. When it's 4th and 4 on, what, the 30-yard line or 35, this is when you have to make a decision in a short period of time.
Well, I think they're over there talking about it now.
Yeah, he has called a timeout, and they're talking it over. It's a big game.
Today's game is being brought to you by Grand Slam Incorporated, sports and entertainment management consultants. Well, what's the decision? Did they vote over there, Coach? They called the whole team over.
I doubt if it was a vote. I imagine he just told him what he thought they're going to have to do if they want to win the football game, and that's like make a first down hit. I like it. I think it's a smart gamble.
Well, I think this is what makes football exciting, too.
That's right. Why kick it?
The linebackers for Butler in tight. Crowell in the eye. Hinthorn and Bender. And Crowell moves down the line of scrimmage, faking the option and tries to roll it up himself, and he is close to a first down. But he was stopped, Coach.
Yeah, you can tell by the reaction of the fans over there. It looked like it was Butler's crowd, and they were very close to the yard marker, so they knew long before we did that he didn't make it.
But again, a good gamble.
I think so. The ball's on the 32-yard line, and you're going for it all. Why be conservative? They want an undefeated season.
Butler takes over now on their own 34-yard line. First down and 10. High backfield, wide receivers to both sides. Handoff to the second back through, number 21, Mickey Naylor, and he is stuck.
Number 61 made that hit. My golly, was that a good hit.
Neil Frilby in there, and he really, really nailed Mickey Naylor.
That's the hardest hit of the game so far. We're going to see it again. Watch our linebacker in here, 61. Bang, right there. What a hit.
I mean, he just stopped him dead in his tracks, Coach.
He sure did. That was a great football play.
Central in a 52. I formation for Butler. Cutler back, takes the handoff and throws over the middle. And that ball is complete to number 19, Paul Page. And Page was a kid you said we should watch for this afternoon, Coach.
He's the leading receiver for Butler, and they like to go to him in key situations. He made a nice catch there. They didn't get much yardage, but it did advance the ball 5 or 6 yards.
Coming into the lineup for Butler now, number 86, Brad Prather, and number 27, Mike Melbourne. Split backfield for Butler. Good protection, but he put that one up in the air. I think that ball slipped out of his hand, Coach. I think the ball slipped.
That might be. Just from a spectator's standpoint, I think Cutter's taking a little bit too much time back there. I think he's got to get back there, set up, and release the ball just a little bit quicker. He's making it awful difficult on his line to block that long.
Number 30, Barnhorse back to punt. Good snap. And again, he gets a little pressure, but he gets away on excellent kick.
Oh, golly.
And boy, did they luck out on that one. Did they luck out on that one.
You know, from where he kicked that ball, he was standing on the 30-yard line and went 71 yards, and due to the wind, of course.
Well, Warren Culpepper was back there and I think he misjudged the ball. Let it roll. I thought that was a little risky at the time, and luckily he got the roll because it just made it into the end zone for the touchback.
Well, that makes up a little bit for the two bad punts that Barnhurst had, so that'll give him a little confidence, and he'll feel better about himself, so we're glad to see that.
12:53 to play in the second quarter. Indiana Central 14, Butler 7. Indiana Central with a first down at their own 20-yard line.
I tell you what, Pete, we've played a lot of this football game right there on that 20-yard line.
I think the groundskeeper's going to be very upset come Monday morning.
Got that right.
Central in their I formation, wideouts to both sides.
Come on, Edward!
And there's the option. He optioned out to John Bender, and I think Bender might have picked up one or two.
Mike Haywood was a free safety, Pete, and he came all the way from his free safety and made the tackle on the outside. So that was a nice play by the safety man from Butler, Mike Haywood.
Well, there was good penetration by the Butler defense, and although the man whose number I didn't pick up didn't make the tackle, he did slow it down enough for the free safety to get over and make the hit.
That's right, exactly right.
Crowell back to pass. He's got a little pressure. He was looking for Fogg, and Fogg has his shadow with him, number 25, Dwayne Branson.
Yes, that's our matchup there. They're going wherever they go, you're going to see both of them. I think probably Crowell did a great job there, Pete, because he could have been sacked, and he sprinted and got outside and was able to at least throw the football.
Well, we've got a 3rd down and 9.
I think Central's feeling what Butler did the first quarter, that doggone win and being down in their own territory.
Well, that Butler defense has loosened up a little bit. They might let them throw it. They're blitzing. Bender's broken outside, and he's running. Well, you know, Butler gambled that time, Coach. Butler blitzed.
Yep.
The linebacker blitzed right past the running back, allowing Bender to get outside. Let's look at it again, Coach.
Okay, and that Dink Bender's a freshman. What a freshman, huh? He's got some power and some speed and pretty good moves. He's going to be around for 3 more years.
And he's moving real well with the ball.
Carry for John Bender.
Big play for Indiana Central.
1st and 10 from the 37. Crowell back to pass, looking over the middle, and he's got number 82, Dan Jester. And Jester's out of bounds at about the 41-yard line, or about the 39-yard line.
Well, that was a nice catch, and he made a nice run after he caught the ball. He picked up probably another 10 or 15 yards. We're going to see it again here. Crowell back in the pocket. He really puts the ball right on the needle, and there goes Jester, and he gets a nice block out there from number 80.
Brian Fogg.
Was that Fogg?
That's
sure
Fogg.
Was. That's right. That was a great block.
Tom Crowell underneath. Indiana Central moving. Split backfield. Play action fake, and he's looking, and he's sacked. Number 73, Grove Bolger, one of the 3 people back there on that sack.
Yeah, Pete, I tell you, the secondary did a good job covering the receivers, and also the quarterback was wise not throwing the football.
Right. But he had good protection. Matt, would you blame that sack, or you credit the secondary for that sack?
There's no question about that, and I think each team played it very well under the circumstance.
2nd down and 15. Crowell back to pass. He's looking. He's got time, and he threw that one just a little bit low.
You know, Pete, what I don't see any deep pattern. They had 2 tight ends and 2 wideouts. They had a possibility of 4 receivers right off the line of scrimmage, but no one was over 10 yards deep.
Didn't look like they were going for the first down, Coach, but possibly trying to pick up some yardage and then go for another play.
Yeah,
and we've got a big 3rd down here.
I'm sure Butler would like to get the ball back because I'm sure they feel they can get back into the game and tie it up.
3rd down, 15. 1 back offense. Crowell underneath. And he's back to pass. He's looking, and he's got 2 receivers in the same area. And I'll tell you, that had to be a broken pattern, Coach, because he had number 86, Tom Williams, his tight end, down there.
Yes, I think what they were doing, they were running an X pattern. We're going to see it again, but they were running an X pattern, and one of them got too deep. They both X'd at the wrong place.
Yeah, well, Williams and Saboten, and they ran into each other. And we've got a timeout on the field. Timeout, Indiana Central.
Don't tell me they only have 10 people on the field, and I think that's what happened. They only had 10 people on the field.
11:33 left in the 3rd quarter. Indiana Central leading Butler by a score of 14-7. And it has been an exciting ball game, Coach.
Yeah, it's a great game, but there again, they're going to have something to talk about at the halftime because there's 2 timeouts, one by each team that was wasted because one of the players didn't report for a specialty team.
Now, why, at this stage of the season, you expect those type errors to be out of the way? You expect that the first game, second game. And they haven't had any major personnel changes. Do you attribute these errors to the importance of this game?
Well, you know it's important to the game, but the player himself is either back there fixing some of his equipment, getting a drink of water, talking to his buddy, but he has to stay in the game. Every player out there has to stay in the game because he's important to the success of it.
Well, 4th down and 14, and Indiana Central is going to have to punt the ball. And that punt was blocked. Blocked by number 44. That was Tom Klusman, the middle guard. He came through there and blocked the ball. And you also saw another example of how treacherous the footing is down there, Coach.
There's no question about it. But that's an awful big play in the favor of Butler because that's going to give them a lot of momentum, and they're down in Central's territory.
Well, Butler comes out with good field position. Patton tried to do a little acting on that one, but I think it was just a clean block.
Well, he had the ball. There's no question about that.
Hand off to the second back through. That's John Bender. Bender's good for about 3 yards.
I think that was Sabo, wasn't it? Might have been Sabo back there, number 7. Yeah, that's Sabo. They're still trying to run up the middle of that line, and they're not having a whole lot of success. So let's see what happens here.
Sabo with the ball, picks up about 2 yards, stopped at about the 40-yard line. We've got a 3rd down and 5.
Pete, it was the same play just to the left side of the line. They flip-flopped their tight end to the left, and I kind of thought he might throw it because this is a big play. It's 3rd and 5, and if they don't make the first down, they are going to have to punt. And, well, we have about 10 minutes and 28 seconds left in the half.
3rd and 5. Wideouts to both sides. We've got a slot single back offense. Cutter back to pass, and he's got pressure. And he's going to be sacked. And number 48, Pete Swartz, I think that was, that broke clean off the line of scrimmage. No one picked him up. He was in on Cutter before Cutter even knew it.
He's one of the kids we said to look out for. He's the leading sack man for the Indiana Central team. He's the left defensive end, and he has more sacks than anybody else on the team, Pete Swartz. So add one more to his total.
That's right. And Culpepper's got the ball and a touchdown-saving tackle. And I want to get the number of the player because he just saved a touchdown, and that was number 71, David Peters. Let's look at it again.
36-yard kick by...
Those are the kind of plays where they fumble that really get your team in trouble because you don't defense it as well, Pete. You kind of relax.
And I called that wrong. That was number 91 down there on the tackle.
That's that well-executed play, faking the run into the line and putting the tight end in back of the linebackers and in front of the secondary and just dropping the ball off to him. Butler's had success with it. And here again, we'll see it with Central having a lot of success. Here we go. He fakes into the line, just drops it off.
And a gain of 6 on that play. Well, I'll tell you, Crowell tried the option to the short side of the field that time. Good defensive play. The cornerback and safety came up and shut that off and turned him inside, and he still got enough to get the first down.
Yeah, he leaped about 3 yards there. What is he, about 6'3", 6'4"? He looks like he's got some size.
Well, he's 6 foot, 180-pounder.
It looks bigger than that from here.
Central with the 1st and 10 from the Butler 49. Tom Williams moves to the near side of the field, and there's a handoff straight up the middle to number 31, Brad Hinthorn, and Hinthorn gets him another first down.
The middle trap again, Pete, where the left guard was trapping right for the fullback, Hinthorn, and that's probably been their most successful play of the day, especially running the ball. Just a little middle trap, we call it. Here we come with it. We should see the left guard. Well, we didn't get to see it, but the left guard traps to the right for him.
I thought he had another first down, but it's a 2nd and 9, Coach.
Yeah, that's still a real fine football play.
Wide receivers to both sides of the field. I formation. Play action, and he's looking for somebody, and there is nobody there.
Central was trying to get a little bit extra there with 2nd and 1. They was going to fake the run and throw it downfield and maybe pick up 8 or 10 yards.
Well, he was looking for number 82, Dan Jester, and Jester sort of lost his footing. He was open.
Yeah.
He had Joe Ane on the coverage there, and he had beaten Ane by about a step.
Well, it was worth a gamble because they are in 3rd down, and they can probably make this first down. 3rd and a long one.
Hinthorn and Bender the backs. They're in the eye, and straight ahead goes Crowell. And does he have it?
Again, Pete, that offensive line is really getting off of the ball, and they're moving that defense back. I think he has it, yes.
And that's what it is. It's another first down for Indiana Central.
Pete, we have 7 minutes and 36 seconds left in the half, and Butler really has not utilized the wind at all.
Not at all. Well, of course, they haven't had the ball, Coach. They've only had the ball once in the second half, if I'm not mistaken.
They may have had it twice, but they've been most of the time on defense.
Hinthorn and Bender the backs. Play action again, and he's looking.
There's the man in his shadow.
Number 25, Dwayne Branson, was all over Fogg that time, but Branson fell down. Yes, I think in falling he confused Fogg a little bit.
We're going to see it again, Pete. Here we go, but they're both right together. They wanted interference call on that one, and it was pretty close, I think.
It was real close. And we can see them. There they are. Fogg up at the top of your screen.
Ooh, what a hit. Great team defense. Did you see all the blue shirts get
I certainly did, and I saw number 20, Rob Collins, come up and put a real hit on number 31, Brad Hinthorn.
Yeah, that was a great defensive effort by the whole team. That's what you like to see. That's when you know your defense is in the game.
Well, I'll tell you, this kid, Hinthorn, impresses me. He doesn't quit, does he?
No, he's a nice fullback, and he runs hard, and he's a good blocker for Central.
Bender and Hinthorn the backs. trying to set up the draw, and they just couldn't get it set up that time. Well diagnosed by the Butler defense.
They were trying to screen out here to the right to number 31, Hinton, but they got too much pressure. Here they come. I don't think they held their blocks long enough, and the quarterback was just rushed a little bit more than what he wanted to be.
You know, and if you looked in the middle of that screen, number 73, Grove Bogler was right in the middle of that screen.
He read it real well.
And that ball is out of bounds at about the 12-yard line.
You really have to be here to appreciate that win, but that ball just got up to the top of its peak and just floated back. That's how strong it is.
And that was about a 45-yard kick or 35-yard kick by James Patton.
Well, Butler has 6 minutes and 23 seconds with the win in their favor.
Let's go down to the field quickly and see what Milt's doing. We'll do that in a minute, Coach.
Okay, Milt wasn't ready for us.
Play action, and he's going up. He's looking for all of it. Oh, and an excellent defensive play.
What a well-thrown pass, though. It was a nice pass pattern. It was a good call. It was Paul Page from Cutter, and it just led her perfect.
And you know, that was an oddity because he had a linebacker on the coverage. He had number 45, Troy Wooten, back there covering him. Good play by Wooten.
Yeah, that was a well-called play by Coach Lynch on that one.
And you know, that's the first time they've gone deep all day, and I've been surprised that they haven't. With the coach having been such a great passer, you expect to put him up. Split backfield, wide receivers to both sides of the field. Cutter hands off, trying to go up the middle.
I really think what the coaching staff from Butler is thinking, let's don't lose the game. Let's stay in the game as long as we can, and maybe in the second half we can open up, and then maybe things will work a little bit better then for us. You know, the hardest thing about coaching, believe it or not, Pete, is calling the plays.
I can imagine. I can imagine.
That's the one hard thing about coaching because you hate to lose a game for your players.
86 and Brad Prather, number 2, Wayne Smith into the lineup for Butler. Split backfield, and Cutter's back to pass. He's got plenty of time. He's looking downfield, and he's got his man, number 2, that's Wayne Smith, and Smith has got the first down.
Nice catch. Very nice pattern, a nice catch.
And I think Smith went into the territory that most wide receivers don't like to go into, that territory occupied by the linebackers, but he did a real good job.
You don't like to go in the middle unless you have to.
Cutter underneath, and he's got him moving a little bit. Split backfield, wide outs to both sides of the field. And Cutter's back to pass. Looking, he's got a man, and he just slightly overthrows Todd Reef. I think he was looking for Reef on the out.
Well, Jack Fillenworth, number 91, that's putting no, it wasn't Fillenworth. Who is 91? He was putting a lot of pressure on Cutter back there, and he made him release the ball a little bit sooner than what he wanted to. Trent Greener, wasn't it?
Yeah, Trent's number 91, and Trent's been having an outstanding game all day.
He put good pressure there.
Split backs again. Central in their straight 52 defense, and there's movement. Number 92, Thurman Montgomery, got a little anxious that time and jumped across the line.
He read the motion of Sabo coming out of there, and I think he was looking at movement instead of at the football. You asked your players, you're so close to the ball, how could you be
defense,
offside?
second down.
And
Second and 5 for the Bulldogs at the 30.
we've got a second and about 5. Sabo in motion to the near side of the field. Cutter looking and throws just a little bit behind Sabo.
He's getting hit on about every pass that he throws, Pete. He's taking a lot of punishment back there, but he's still staying in there real tough.
Number 49, Dave Jester, was back there covering.
Okay, we're going to see it again, and maybe if we can watch the quarterback getting hit after he releases the ball. Ball was thrown a little bit in back of him.
2 wide receivers to the far side, split backfield. And that pass is not, that That pass is batted down. He was looking for number 86, Brad Prather.
Marcus Johnson
defending. And we've got an official timeout on the field with 4 minutes and 59 seconds left to play in the second quarter.
Imagine Jay Barnhart's hoping he can get a good kickoff here because he's had some problems today.
Culpepper and Fogg back to receive Barnhorst's kick, and Barnhorst gets off a beauty. Oh my goodness. And I'm going to have to see how this is ruled, Coach. I'm going to have to see how this is ruled because it could very easily be a safety.
It's going to be called a safety because I think you can bring it out of the end zone.
Well, he started forward. He was trying to come out of the end zone when he was hit. And, well, let's just wait and see how this one's called.
This will be interesting. They're having a discussion. You can see Tom Bolson, the referee, and they are going to call a safety.
Well, he definitely tried to advance the ball, Coach, and I think I agree with that call.
Yes, I think it's a good call.
And Butler draws even closer. The score now with 4 minutes and 44 seconds left in the second quarter. Indiana Central 14, Butler 9. Central's going to have to kick this ball away, and Butler could very easily end up with very good field position.
They'll be kicking off from the 20-yard line against the wind, so Butler will have great field position again to start their offensive drive. That 2 points might be meaningful by the end of this football game.
It would be very decisive the way these two teams are playing.
The momentum has kind of shifted back and forth. Indiana Central had the best of it early in the game. Now it seems like Butler's starting to get a little bit more momentum. I imagine they will punt it. I'm not sure, but maybe not. You have the choice of punting or the free kick, so we'll have to see whether they're going to punt or kick it off.
Well, Naylor and Sabo back waiting the kick. And they've got their kickoff man, Mike Warner, in the game, so it looks like they're going to kick it off. Into the wind. And look at the wind hold the ball up. I'll tell you, Coach, I see why coaches get gray hair now.
That's right. Did you see that football hang up here?
Well, I'll tell you, Adam Boston came up and tried to field that ball on the run. The ball got away from him, and luckily, number 7. Here's a replay. Let's look at it again, Coach.
He just couldn't field it. Too much wind.
And Sabo saved the ball for his Butler Bulldog teammates.
Butler was very lucky on that one, Pete. Let's see if they throw a long one here again on first down.
First and 10 at their own 45. And Sabo with the ball. And Sabo picks up about 3 yards.
They're running that little blast to the split inside, and they're doing it a lot. I guess, if that's your game plan and that's what you work on, you figure somewhere along the way it's going to work for you.
Number 1, Mark Hartley in with the play.
Pick up a 3 on the play after the 45.
Dury leads him out. Split backfield. And Cutter's back to pass, rolling to the far side of the field. He's got number 94, Mark Hayes, for about a 15-yard gain, good for a first down.
That was a real good misdirection play. He faked the trap that they had run earlier in the game, and then he bootlegged to the right side of the field and had his end wide open. Let's look at this. But you can see him fake into the line, and then he bootlegs, and the left end comes across the field, and he's wide open. Nobody there at all to pick him up.
Indiana Central at the Butler 30, or Butler at the Indiana Central 39. And a quick pass over the middle.
Terry Williams again.
Williams on the reception, and Coach, from my angle, I couldn't see if he received the ball or not. And
that same play, Pete, we've been seeing all day. The tight end over the middle. There's the linebackers, and then here comes the secondary. So they're getting in between the secondary and the linebackers.
And they're coming out for a measurement, and this one is close to a first down.
Pete, we have 3 minutes and 33 seconds before the half, and Butler has the first down on about the 29-yard line. So this will be kind of an important drive here for Butler to see if they can get anything.
Well, you know, 10 yards more, and they're in field goal range.
I would think so, as strong as that wind is, without a doubt. But I'm sure they would like to think touchdown.
Number 1, Mark Hartley to the near side of the field. Flag on the play. Sabo takes the ball and dives forward for about 7 yards.
We have a flag over there. I think the linesman, Mike Caskey, threw it, and I couldn't tell whether it was offside against the defense or motion, but it looks like offside against the defense.
I saw that defensive line move just a little bit. And let's go down to the field and see how the great one is doing.
Yeah, you know, Pete, the ebb and flow of college football, the momentum seems to be turning toward Butler's way. That safety had something to do with that heavy wind that's in a northerly direction down here. The field's a little bit tough in the middle. It's getting a little bit wet. The players don't seem to mind it. The hitting is very, very hard. Back up to you, Pete.
Thanks, Milt. Cutter underneath, moves his back around in the backfield. Sabo Sabo in motion. And a head shot straight up the middle to number 32, Todd Reef. And Reef is hit hard after gaining about 4 yards.
They've changed that offensive backfield scheme a little bit. They started the game with Barnhurst and Naylor, and now they've been going with Reef and Sabo.
That's right. And I don't know. The next time we have an opportunity to talk to Milt, I want to ask him if we've got some injured players. Although Barnhurst apparently is not injured, he's been in punting the football.
And Naylor just ran on the field. So that answers our question. He's just moving his people around a little bit.
Full house backfield. 2 tight ends, hand off to number 32, Todd Reef. And Reef is very close to a first down. And it is a first down.
Full house backfield, just what we call an outside belly, just the halfback leading the fullback into the hole.
Well, we've got 2 minutes and 8 seconds left. Butler has the ball, and they're moving. They're on the Indiana Central 18-yard line. Cutter brings them up.
They have 2 timeouts remaining.
The backs are Sabo and Reef. And Sabo's in motion to the far side of the field. Cutter looking for him. Cutter's got him. Wide open. Touchdown. Well, with a minute 45 left in the second quarter, Butler takes the lead for the first time today. Butler 15, Indiana Central 14, and we're going to wait here now for the extra point.
One thing I'd like to point out, Cutter needs 195 yards passing in this game to become the first Butler quarterback to throw for 2,000 yards in 1 year.
Let's look at that touchdown again, Coach.
Okay. I'll tell you what, he makes a nice cut. Sabo was a man in motion. He made a nice catch, but the ball was very, very well thrown.
Coca-Cola lucky number good for a case of Coca-Cola Classic. This number 10.
That's quite an honor.
Lucky number again.
That we're going to see it again, but that's quite an honor not even to be the starting back.
Well, right, he came in, I think, the first or second game of the season and has done an outstanding job ever since.
He's even gone by his great coach, Billy Lynch, who was a great quarterback.
And, you know, the old flinging Billy, because Billy threw the ball with the best.
He sure did. He was one of the great quarterbacks. He had a great head on his shoulder when he played.
And it looks like they're going to go for 2, Coach.
That's very smart. They'd like to have a 3-point edge. A 2-point edge won't help them that much. So good call again from the Butler coaching staff.
Well, Cutter had 2 receivers in the end zone, but excellent defensive play by the Indiana Central team. And with the score, Indiana Central 14, Butler 15. Let's pause for just a moment.
He's just a little boy in a life that keeps on moving. He's just a little boy who needs a friend to help him grow. He's just a little boy who's going to be a man.
When he grows up, let him have a memory of you.
I'll tell you, Coach, the wind is really gusting down there. Jenkins had teed the ball up, and the wind just blew it right off the tee.
And it did it one more time, so they may get a player to come in and hold it for him because that wind is strong. Here comes Mike Higwood in, and I think he's going to just hold the ball for him.
No, I can hear it. It's that turned off.
And Jenkins gets off a good one. And again, it touches an Indiana Central player. It's picked up by number 2, Culpepper. And Culpepper is nailed at about the 7-yard line by a swarm of blue jerseys.
Pete, I tell you, in a championship game and on the college level, you really expect your backs to handle the ball a little bit better. I'm sure the coaching staff will talk a little bit about that at the halftime.
Well, Coach, could it be that the wind is making that ball a little bit hard to judge?
Well, that was with the wind. Against the wind, it might float and hang, but normally with the wind, you can pretty well judge it.
And again, Indiana Central is short a man. They've got a man coming in late. Crowd brings him out, and he's going to try to have to get something going. They got 1:41 left in the second quarter. Single back offense, and that's who he gives the ball to. Number 31, Brad Hinthorn, straight up the middle for about 2 yards.
That's that little trap play again, Pete. Now we'll have to see what Central wants to do because they would like to go in without, kicking that ball against the wind. So Butler's got 2 timeouts. I'm sure if they hold him here, they'll use one of those timeouts. Get into a little bit of strategy here.
Well, I don't know too much about that part of it, Coach. They never let me think. They just said, now you do this.
you go hit that guy.
Yeah, you hit that guy. And they tried to run that option again, Coach.
Yes, they did.
And it was well diagnosed by number 75, Jeff Palmer. And here's an update. Ashland College 0, Valpo 0 in the second quarter. That's at the half.
Well, they didn't call timeout. I'm a little bit surprised that maybe they wouldn't. Maybe they will after this play if they hold him.
45 or 40 seconds left. Split backfield. Tom Crowell underneath. Reverse pivot, and he hands the ball off to number 32, Dave Bolin.
Now they're going to do it.
Bolin is stopped after about a 2-yard gain. So we've got a 4th down and 6, and Butler looks like they might have another shot getting the ball back.
Well, they have 24 seconds, so with 1 timeout, they might be able to throw a long pass. With the wind, you never can tell what'll happen. You've got to think big to be big.
We're going to have a very interesting halftime interview. The third member of our broadcast team, the great Milt Thompson, is down on the field, and he's going to be talking with the athletic director and ex-coach of these Butler Bulldogs, Bill Sylvester.
What a great career Bill has had. A good high school coach and a great college coach, and now the athletic director of this fine university.
Patton back to kick, and he gets off a low kick. Rolls dead at about the 49-yard line, out of bounds, stopping the clock with 15 seconds left.
Butler will have a chance for 2 plays, I think, Pete. They can probably, maybe even 3 if it's incomplete.
Well, Butler with a 1st and 10 on the Indiana Central 49-yard line, 15 seconds left to play in the second quarter.
We'll see the secondary dropped way off and the linebackers, and I still think Butler will let it fly long because there's a lot of wind up there. They might be able to get back of them.
Double wide outs to the near side of the field. Number 19, Paul Page, and number 86, Brad Prather. And Cutter's back to pass. Cutter's looking. An excellent defensive play over there by number 30, Steve Woods.
Steve Woods been in that secondary a couple of years, and his brother is one of the defensive secondaries coaches from Indiana Central. So, you know, I imagine he knows pretty well what he's doing.
11 seconds left, Coach, and they still got time for a couple more plays.
Yes, and as long as they can throw it long.
Prather and Page to the near side of the field. And we've got a flag. Cutter is sacked.
Cutter dropped for a loss on the play. Back
The referee threw the flag, Pete, so it'll be a holding call.
Number 92, Thurman Montgomery, and in there on the sack. Five seconds left.
I'd almost imagine that Central would have to take the penalty because there's only time for one more play anyway. That using up the down won't be that important.
Well, I think there's no doubt in anybody's mind in the stadium right now what Cutter's going to do. Well, maybe there is. He can do one of two things, can't he, Coach? He can drop down and just let the clock run out, or he can go for it.
Well, you know, they go in at the halftime 1 point ahead, and with no big mistake right here for the half, that's not all bad because it would be a long shot being able to score a 65-yard touchdown pass. Here we go. We knew they'd take the penalty.
Holding against Butler, second down. Wait for the whistle.
Tell him, Tom.
And Central's changed their defense up a little bit. They're in almost in a 30 or 34 defense. And Cutter's back. He airs it out. Hail Mary, and he's looking for it. Obviously, it's very incomplete, and that's the end of the first half of play. With the score, Indiana Central 14, Butler 15. We'll be back shortly with our halftime show.
The people, the places, the learning, the adventure. The world is waiting. Be an exchange student. Write Youth Exchange, Pueblo, Colorado.
It's halftime at the Butler Bowl. Indiana Central 14, Butler 15. Let's go down to the field quick, Coach, and talk to our cohort who's freezing.
Sounds good to me.
Thanks a lot, Pete and Bob. We've got right down here a very special halftime guest, and that's the athletic director at Butler University. That's ex-coach Bill Sylvester. Coach, welcome to the halftime show.
Well, thank you, Milt. Pleased to be here.
Well, I'll tell you, what's it like sitting back watching the ball game instead of down here directing signals?
Well, it depends on how the game goes. It's pleasant sometimes, not so pleasant others, but I'm taking it in good stride.
Well, I understand that you're supposed to organize some 60-degree weather for us. We've got a nice strong wind going in a northerly direction. The hitting is real hard down here. What's first-year coach Bill Lynch got to do to hang on to this 1 point lead in the second half?
Well, keep the other team from scoring will do that, but it's a good game, and both teams are handling it very well. Both teams have had a lot of injuries, and really it's a tribute to both coaches that they've had since great seasons with the injuries that they've had.
Well, of course, the top dog game is always a big contest. This year's for the Heartland Conference Championship. You've got two nationally ranked ball clubs. What kind of second half can we look for? Defense or offense?
Well, I think it's a little bit of both. You know, both clubs are so very, very similar. They're both great defensive teams, and they're playing that today. And Of course, they're both rated highly in NCAA division statistics defensively, but both can be explosive with the football. 15-14 is a good score, and I think it'll be tight all the way. But I think we can look for some more scoring.
And of course, I'm going to ask an unbiased prediction from you. Who's going to win this ball game, Coach?
Well, I'm going to stay out of that, but you know where my heart is.
Okay. You've heard it right here from our very, very special guest, and that's Bill Sylvester, who's the athletic director at Butler University. We wish you a lot of luck.
Thanks, Bill. Pleasure.
Back up to you, Pete and Bob.
Thanks, Coach Sylvester, and thank you, Milton. I know it's chilly down there. You know, these are two very outstanding schools that we're seeing play here today, Coach. Let's take a minute and look at the Indiana Central campus.
Sounds fine.
Indiana Central University. For years, you have known us as an institution with a strong business program. We have been a leader in the field of nursing. Our name has been synonymous with quality liberal arts graduates. But there is more. Indiana Central is a coeducational liberal arts university located on the south side of Indianapolis. We offer more than 50 undergraduate and 10 graduate degree programs. For more information about Indiana Central University, dial student, S-T-U-D-E-N-T.
With the score, Indiana Central 14, Butler 15, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Hello, I'm Senator Bill Bradley. The next time you're in a local supermarket, take a moment to look at the pictures of missing children on this message center, and please jot down the phone number, 1-800-843-5678, 1-800-843-5678. You can help find a missing child. With your help, we can reunite a missing child with loving parents. This has been a public service message from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children.
Halftime at the Butler Bowl, and the Butler Bowl on the campus of Butler University, one of the prettier campuses I think I've ever been on, Coach.
It is, Pete, and it's a beautiful stadium and pretty well filled today, and I can tell the people out there are a little bit cold.
I imagine it is. We're nice and warm in here. This is a beautiful facility, and the heaters work well. Coach, through the magic of video, let's take a look at the Butler campus.
Sally Francis.
You and the Butler University traditions. Traditions of academic excellence, personal attention, and campus involvement. As a Butler University student, you will be academically challenged by a core curriculum that follows a liberal arts tradition. You may choose from one or a combination of 65 major fields of study in the colleges of liberal arts and sciences, education, business, pharmacy, and the Jordan College of Fine Arts. Small classes will encourage your participation and individual expression, both in and out of the classroom. An academic advisor will guide you in planning your class schedule while you explore career and curriculum options. Internship experiences and educational resources in the Indianapolis community will enrich your Butler University education. Student government, professional and honorary clubs, fraternities and sororities, music ensembles and theater productions, intercollegiate and intramural sports. Your involvement in the more than 65 student organizations makes the Butler University campus a living and a learning environment. Academic excellence, personal attention, and campus involvement. Experience these traditions at Butler University.
Halftime with Indiana Central trailing Butler by a score of 14-15. Coach, let's look at the stats from that first half, and it was a very evenly played game as we expected it would be. The scoring drives, which we'll look at, a 13-yard run or I'm sorry, a 1-yard run by the Indiana Central quarterback. But let's look at the first downs here. First downs relatively even. Big gap in rushing yardage, though, Coach.
Quite a bit.
And then we in the passing yardage, again a big gap, 128 for Butler to 49 for Indiana Central. But the bottom line is 150 to 117 yards, not a major disparity.
Well, I think, Pete, Butler had the 2 long plays. They had both passes that covered probably about 30 yards or more each, and I think Butler's gotten here by the way of the pass, and I think Central's done a little bit better by the way of the run. So I think we're getting just about what we expected out of both teams.
Coach, you've got some individual statistics on some of the individual players there.
Let me talk about the one that's most impressive, and that's the passing by Cutter of Butler. He moved into second in the all-time yardage for 1 year. He had 9 out of 16 for 127 yards, 2 touchdowns, although he was sacked 3 times. Now, as we said at the start of the program, he needs 195 yards, so we'll be looking for that second half. From the rushing, Barnhurst was 4 for 16 yards. Siebel was 6 for 13 yards. Pass receiving for Butler, Prather was 4 for 52 yards. Siebel was 2 for 41 yards. On the other side of the coin, Indiana Central, Crowell threw the ball 13 times for 4 receptions and 49 yards. Rushing, Bender, and I think he did an outstanding job. Old Dink Bender, by golly.
Just a freshman.
Yeah, just a freshman, and he's a real one. 9 attempts, 56 yards, and his longest run was 18 yards. Henthorne, again, you can't say enough about this guy because we've seen him do it 2 years in a row. 8 rushes for 40 yards. His longest was 11. Crowell had 6 attempts for 4 yards. Receiving, Jester 2 for 30, Williams 2 for 19. So basically, I think the people that we thought would perform for each team has, and I think probably they've done just about what they expected they could do.
Well, the game has had all the excitement that I anticipated, and I hope our viewers are really enjoying it. And I want to remind our viewers that today's game is being brought to you by Grand Slam Incorporated, sports and entertainment management consultants. And with the teams coming on to the field now to start warming up for the second half, let's pause for a short break.
Aren't these pretty? Yeah! That's right. They are Christmas seals, and the American Lung Association asked you to support the Christmas Seal campaign. Listen, who are we going to talk to today? The growers! Really tell them not to smoke, because you've got to take care of your lungs. They are only human. Oh, you really know something. Take care of your lungs. Support the Christmas Seal campaign.
The American Lung Association, the Christmas Seal people.
Well, second half is about to get underway, Coach. What can we look for in the second half? The game, you can't say that Indiana Central needs to get back into the game because they're not really out of it. With a 1-point difference, it's still anyone's ball game.
Well, I think really what they talked about at the halftime, especially Indiana Central, the game means so much to them. An undefeated season, the playoff, and, they were highly motivated at the beginning of the first quarter, and I think they will be here. But Butler's had success, and they know they'll get a part of the championship, and I'm sure they like their new head coach, Bill Lynch, and I think those guys are going to play hard. So basically what they'll want to try and do is keep 11 men on the field on their specialty teams, and, no turnovers, and try to do well into the win, because the team with the win seems to be doing the best.
And now it looks as though Butler's decision to receive the ball going into the wind in the first quarter is going to be a good decision, because that gives them the wind at their back in the fourth quarter. And Butler is an explosive ball team, and I guess that's true with most passing ball clubs. They explode. They don't really develop anything and move it up and down the field. They just go for it.
Yeah, Mickey Naylor had been their leading rusher up until now, and I think he's maybe 4th or 5th for one season in the all-time list. But Sable's been playing a lot, and like I say, they still like to run the football, and they'll try to keep that little bitty 1-point edge as long as they can, and then after that point in time, then they may have to go back to the passing game.
Well, Indiana Central back, set to receive. And here comes the Butler team on the field.
We had a real matchup with Ryan Fogg and Dwayne Branson, and also on the other side, Tom Collins and Paul Page. So we've had two good matchups out there today.
Coach, now Culpepper and Brad Mock are back deep to receive the ball, and Culpepper did have a couple problems with some punts in the first half. Let's see if he's gotten those corrected.
I bet he has.
Number 10, John Jenkins, set to kick it off. And a good kick.
Oh, my golly, what did I say?
I don't know. Number 19, Brad Mock, closed on that ball quickly. And then I think made a good decision to let the ball go by.
I'll tell you what, he got confused. He thought it was a punt, and he didn't realize it was a free ball. But on the kickoff, that's a free ball. Man, that got me excited.
Well, Indiana Central gets the second half underway. 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line.
It's about the same position on the field we started today.
Dan Jester to the near side of the field. Number 80, Brian Fogg at the top of your screen, and a handoff straight up the middle to number 31, Brad Henthorne, and they're starting out the second half just like they started the first half.
Against the wind, about the 20-yard line, right in that chewed-up part of the field.
And Henthorne picks up about 4 yards on that carry.
There's a replay, and it's just a straight-ahead dive play to Henthorne. Looked like he got about 3.5 yards.
And number 91, Jack Fillenworth, over to make the hit. Henthorne with the ball again, and Henthorne is stopped after a gain of about 1 yard. Number 55 over there to make the tackle, or 56, Joanne A., I'm sorry, over there to make the tackle.
Pete, we're back to 3rd and 5, but if Central has to give up the ball and kick against the wind this early in the quarter, they're going to have the same problems that Butler had early in the game.
Butler in their 52. Central in their I. Number 22, John Bender in motion to the far side of the field. Crowley back to pass, being pursued. And he puts it up. He's got a receiver who's got his hands on the ball. That was number 86, Tom Williams, who has been one of Crowell's favorite receivers all day.
Well, Crowell did a good job getting away from the pursuit, and he broke free out here. And look, let's watch it again, but it looked like he was going to be able to get the pass off and complete it. Right here, he gets away from the defense, and he gets out here pretty much free, but he didn't get the ball to him.
Number 6, Joe Eaton, did a real good job that time. And there's the punt, and it's a short punt. Takes a Butler bounce. The ball is down at about the 48-yard line of Indiana Central, and Butler starts out the second half with very good field position.
Well, I tell you, it's identical. It's just different teams the way the game started. With that doggone win, Butler gets the start right on the 48-yard line of Indiana Central University.
Big George Drury, the center, brings him up to the line of scrimmage. Rob Cutter at quarterback. Split backfield. And that was sort of a late developing screen to number 21, Mickey Naylor. And Naylor picked up about a yard, maybe 2 yards, and we're back to their original.
We're going to see a replay on it. It's a screen pass. Does a pretty good job, but somebody broke the screen. The lineman didn't get down there and get Dave Jester, and he did a good job at linebacker there for Indiana Central, number 49.
And the starting backfield is back in place with Barnhorst and Naylor. High backfield, and Cutter fumbles the ball and does the smart thing. He falls on it.
We have a penalty, Pete, and I think Indiana Central might have jumped offside.
Well, if they did, that will be a big break for Butler.
Sure did. We're going to get a replay. Let's watch the defensive line. Well, we couldn't see that, but Cutter missed the handoff, and then he did get back to fall on the ball, but it doesn't make any difference. Indiana Central's offside, so Butler's going to gain 5 yards on the penalty.
Offsides on the defense, 3rd down.
Number 2, Wayne Smith, brought the play in from the sidelines.
Big break for Butler, Pete.
Real big break for Butler. Page to the near side of the field. Wayne Smith flanked to the far side of the field. I backfield with Barnhorst and Naylor. And the handoff is to Naylor. And Naylor surges forward for a gain of about 5 yards. about 4 yards.
I think that's about the best line blocking I've seen Butler have all day. They moved the whole left side of the defensive line off the ball about 3 or 4 yards. Here comes the replay of it. Watch them move their line off of the line of scrimmage, and that's about the best blocking we've seen.
Full house backfield, number 32, Todd Reef set in the middle. The handoff is to Reef, and Reef breaks it outside. Good for a first down and more, up to the 30-yard line.
Again, it's just a little outside belly to the fullback. The quarterback takes a reverse pivot, and a halfback lead blocks for him.
And I call that, Todd, that was Jay Barnhorst carrying the ball.
He came back with his 2 starters, it looked like, Mickey Naylor and Jay Barnhorst.
Now here comes Sabo into the lineup, replacing number 21, Mickey Naylor. And as I saw Naylor run off the field, he runs like he might have a slight ankle or knee injury.
You're right.
I formation. Pitch to Sabo. Sabo trying to turn it outside, and he's got about 5 yards before he's wrestled down. Pete Schwartz over there to make the hit.
Butler's line looks like they're getting off the ball a little bit better this half than they did the first half.
They're a little more inspired.
Okay, we're going to see it again. It's just a pitch sweep, and you can see they get the corner man turned inside, and Sabo gets outside.
Schwartz made an outstanding defensive play on that one, or he could have broken it for a little more yardage. Split backfield. Handoff to Barnhorst, and Barnhorst is very close to a first down.
It looks like maybe Butler at the halftime decided that they could run the football, and they're going to take it right to him.
We've got a 3rd and about 1. Number 21, Naylor, comes back into the field. Back onto the field.
Let's kind of look for the long count. They're trying to draw Indiana Central off, and with 3rd and short, this is a good time for a long count.
Well, we've got Naylor, Barnhorst, and Sabo in the backfield. Full house backfield. The handoff is to Barnhorst, and Barnhorst spins forward for the first down.
What a great effort by Jay Barnhorst there.
Excellent second effort by Barnhorst.
He was stopped in the backfield by about 1.5 yards. He spun off and made the first down. Great play, Jay Barnhorst. Let's look at it again. This is a great football play by this young man. Right there, he's hit, spins, good job.
Well, I think the linebacker, number 45, Troy Wooten, blitzed on that play, and he had Barnhorst dead to rights in the backfield. Just excellent running on Barnhorst's part.
Sure was. We were wrong about the first down. He's about a foot short.
All right, what do you do now, Coach?
Oh, you go for it. On the 20-yard line, you're not going to kick a field goal. You want a touchdown too bad now.
Well, they're bringing in the horses. In comes number 30's in the backfield. Number 32, Todd Reef, 5'10", 195 pounds. 2 fullbacks. Number 21, Mickey Naylor. Full house backfield. Cutter underneath. Central's jammed it up in the middle. There's the handoff to number 30, Barnhorst. And did he make it?
That is close, Pete. I mean, that's real close. I think he might have, but they're going to bring the chains in.
Well, that's an awful close one to call. Official timeout. They're going to measure this one.
This might be a big, big measurement.
And they didn't make it. They did not make it. They gambled and lost, Coach.
Well, probably they'll lose only the field goal. We're going to see it again. Let's see who's... Oh, great play by the linebacker there.
Number 48, I think that is...
I kind of thought it was 61.
Did you think it was 61?
Yeah.
I didn't get a clear shot of him.
It was a linebacker coming across there. What a great job he did.
Number 61, that's Neil Froby.
Yes, yes. Credit him for that one.
And Indiana Central trying to get back into this one. Number 80, Brian Fogg to one side of the field. Number 86, Tom Williams up top. And they're running the football. That was number 22, John Bender. Bender was run out of bounds after a gain of about 4 yards by the whole Butler defense, and that was excellent pursuit on the part of Butler.
They run the option into the short side of the field, but Butler looked like they might have adjusted a little bit at the halftime. They had trouble defense in that first half.
And that was a gain of about 2 yards, so we've got a 2nd down and 8. Split backfield. And that was a straight-ahead handoff to number 32, Dave Bolin, I think there. Bolin got about a yard on that carry.
You know, it's pretty obvious what Milt said down there. They are really hitting hard.
They sure are. And a favorite of mine, number 20, Bob Espich from Warren Central, just checked into the lineup.
He's a freshman, too. He did great last year, didn't he?
That was excellent execution. And you know, Coach, from my experience as a ball player, that's an impossible pass to stop.
Well, your linebacker has to get over in front of the receiver because the pass is too short for the secondary to get up in time. So you've got to get it right over that linebacker.
First and 10 for the Greyhounds at their own 40-yard line.
Come on now.
Split backfield, wide receivers to each side. And Crowell's looking. And Crowell is almost intercepted.
I'll tell you, one in the crowd, didn't he?
If the footing had been better, number 6 Joe Eaton would have had an interception.
We're going to see it again, Pete. Let's see what he does here. Looked like he threw in the crowd. He fakes into the line and he sprints out, but a lot of blue shirts around there.
Well, that was second down and about 9. Now it's third down and about 9 because they didn't go anywhere that time. The Butler defense just stacked it up at the line of scrimmage.
They went to the well once too often. They've been using that middle trap with Henthorne, and again, Butler looked like they might have adjusted to that a little bit at the halftime.
Big play coming up here. Third down and about 9. Split backfield, wide receivers to both sides, and obviously they're going to throw it. And Crowell's back to throw. He's getting a little pressure on the backside, and he throws over the middle, complete at the 50-yard line to number 86, Tom Williams.
I think it was Brian Fogg that caught that.
Was that Fogg?
I think that's his first one of the day, and did he make a catch? We're going to see it again. I think it was Brian Fogg, Pete. Let's look. What a catch. Crowd does a good job back there.
And that was number 80, Brian Fogg.
He did a good job on that reception.
And you know, we're going to look at the quarterback statistics after this play, but Cutter has passed for 154 yards today. Excellent defense that time by number 6, Joe Eaton. That was a play-action fake, and then he just swung it out to his running back, Bender. Eaton read it all the way, came up and knocked him down.
We're going to see it again, Pete. This is a pass cut the pros like to use. You flare a man out of the backfield, and they try and get Dink out of the backfield, hit on a little flare pass, and he's on the linebacker one-on-one. The guy does a good job, didn't he?
He certainly did. $7:52 left to play in the third quarter.
Must be the footballs, boy. We got an official's timeout, and they're going to bring a new ball in. The center didn't like the feel of that football that time, so he asked the referee for a dry ball.
Number 85, Doug Sayboten, flipped to the near side of the field. Brian Fogg to the other side of the field. Split backfield. And he's throwing to Sayboten. Sayboten has caught the ball complete for about 6 yards.
We're going to see it again here, Pete. I think it's Sayboten just on a little look-in. Number 85, the flanker, there he comes on a look-in over the middle. Good shot. They had the one-on-one coverage out there, and Sayboten was able to beat him.
Number 82, Dan Jester, checks into the lineup. Sayboten to the near side of the field. Fogg to the far side of the field. Split backfield. Reverse handoff to number 32, Dave Bolin, and he goes nowhere. And that was number 22, John Bender.
That was Dink Bender. We got a little trap play. See the guard coming and leading. But Butler's tackle read it great. And 43, the linebacker, Bunt, was in there. He's played all year with a broken wrist. Can you believe that?
No, I can't. I think that would be difficult to do.
Uh-oh, a fake's on.
Dave Peters made an excellent play. Number 71, Dave Peters, big defensive tackle, 6'3", 240 pounds from Goshen High School, made an outstanding defensive play.
That was a great play. I just wondered if that was designed by the coaching staff or whether he did it on his own.
I hope for his
sake. There it comes again. It looks like a design play because he didn't hesitate.
And I'll tell you, Coach, you mentioned earlier that Cutter had a tendency to hold the ball a bit too long. He had excellent protection that time, but a credit to the Indiana Central defense because he really didn't have anybody to throw it to.
Yeah, they've had great coverage in the secondary, and you know, Rob Cutter's really closing in on that record. I bet he's got close to 160 yards.
He's got 127. We had calculated earlier. But it's 127, coaches. Looking real good.
He's got a chance at it.
Motion to the far side of the field, and just a quick release to number 19, Paul Page. Good for about 5 yards.
They had that pretty well defense. They did pick up a few yards, but like I say, not enough to make the first down. Paul Page there, 150 pounds, 5'8". That's not very big.
Not big at all to come across the middle.
That's for sure.
3rd down and 5. Page and Prather to the near side of the field. And an outstanding defensive play over there by number 7, Marcus Johnson.
That was a great defensive play. He had him covered like a blanket.
He certainly did.
We're going to see it again, Pete. Here he comes. Cutter has a lot of times. Looks like he gets it in there, but that's just a great defensive effort.
And number 30, Barnhorst, is back to punt. And that ball is out of bounds at about the 10-yard line, about the 11-yard line.
Barnhorst has come along with his kicking since that first quarter. I think the wind had him a little bit shook, but he's doing a lot better now for Butler.
Well, 5 minutes and 30 seconds left in the 3rd quarter. Indiana Central 14, Butler 15. Indiana Central with a first down at their own 15, 16, 11-yard line.
We're getting into kind of a defensive struggle now, and that's a sign of good football teams.
Skip. $5.
Hinthorn with the ball. Gain of about 2 yards.
That's middle trap again. We've seen that a couple of times, haven't we?
Right, I think we could diagnose that one from up here, Coach.
Just so we don't have to run it.
Stay in front. Don't go in back of it. Okay.
Let's swap now. Hey, swap!
Hinthorn picks up 2 yards on the play. 2nd and 8 for the Greyhounds.
I see Butler has made an adjustment, and they've moved a man right up on the nose of that tight end to take away that quick end. Good defensive play. Pass complete that time to Tom Williams.
Tackled by Mike Hegwood.
Excellent defensive play by Hegwood. Had he been any tighter on him, he would have interfered.
We're going to see it again. Mike played in the All-Star game for me, and he was a nice football player then, and it looks like he's even gotten better. He's a very quiet kid. He talks about every day or two.
Third down and 5. There's the pitch outside to Bender. Bender's looking for some outside running room, and there is nothing there. There's a flag on the play, however. Number 6, Joe Eaton up on the tackle. But there is a flag on the play.
Joe Eaton's been able to tackle Bender twice by himself.
But you know, you wonder about that, Coach, when your safeties are coming up making those hits. Doesn't that make you ask yourself some questions?
Well, I think he's a free safety who comes up almost like a linebacker into the split inside. So he's not as far back as you think, I don't really believe.
Holding against the offense declined. 4th down.
And we've got a 4th and about 5.
Butler's going to have excellent field position again, Pete, after this punt, I'm sure, with that wind being in the kicker's face.
Patton back, and Patton gets off a good kick. Number 19, Brian Mack on the reception, but that was an excellent kick and excellent special teams play.
That was great. That coverage was out of this world. Butler was trying to set up the wall for a return, but Central really covered that well.
A 3-yard loss on a return by Page, so it's 1st and 10.
And that was Paul Page back to receive that punt. And we have Butler on offense again. Number 7, Eric Sabo in the backfield. There goes Sabo in motion. And you know, Coach, that play developed very well. They ran a play that looked very similar to that in the last possession where they threw the ball to Sabo. Sabo cleared that time. Page came underneath for the reception.
We're going to see it again, Pete, and it was off the sequence of the touchdown. Instead of throwing to Sabo, he threw to Paul Page, and Paul makes a nice run here. Watch him duck his head, and Collins really put it to him.
1st down and 10 at the 50, at the 49. Cutter hands off, straight ahead. And that's number 32, Todd Reef, carrying the ball.
Yeah, they got the other group of backs in again, haven't they?
They certainly do.
They've been alternating and doing a good job running in different groups in that offensive backfield.
2nd down and 6. I formation, wide receivers to both sides of the field. Cutter sets him and looks it over. And there's a fumble.
Indiana Central has
the football. Indiana Central recovers Rob Cutter's fumble at about the 46-yard line.
It looked to me, Pete, like he was trying to change the play at the line of scrimmage, and he called his audible, and he just pulled out of there a little bit too fast. That's a great break for the Greyhounds.
A big break for them because Butler has been moving very well in the second half.
Right.
Dave Bowen and John Bender, the running backs, and that was Bender with the ball.
I think we had Henthorne there.
Henthorne with the ball.
Yeah, I think that was Henthorne, Pete.
You know, one thing I like about white jerseys, when they get dirty, you can't see the numbers, and so it doesn't matter if you make a mistake.
That's right.
Henthorne and Bender, the backs.
But he caught it out of bounds.
I think he did. They're bringing it back.
Yeah. That was a nice pass by Crowell, and it was a nice catch. But
and you know, that's the first time they've thrown deep, I think, in the game.
Right, and that was against the wind also. We're going to see it again here. But Crowell gets back, and nice release. See if we can see. Well, we can't see whether it's out of bounds or not, but the official was close enough. I'm sure he knows. There, we're going to see it again. Nice release. Yeah, it looks like he was out pretty far.
He set up a little screen there, and an excellent run. That was John Bender, and Bender got loose on a little one-man screen out there and made it into an outstanding play.
The offensive line of Central did a great job. Let's watch him here on the replay. See the linemen going out to the flat. They let their men come through free. Watch the blocking over there now. 1, 2 of them. And breaks through. Nice play.
Defender.
Big series for Indiana Central.
And it's time for that blue-clad defense to dig in a little bit. Number 82, Dan Jester, moves to the near side of the field. Play action fake. Crowd back, he's looking, and he is sacked, and he's hit hard. And that's number 44, Tom Klusman, the nose tackle, in on the...
Looks like Schwartz got there also.
Number 48.
84.
84.
He's the leading sacker on the team. Rybordy, isn't that his name?
Rybordy, yeah.
And he's the leading sack man for the Butler defensive team. That changed complexions awful quick from first and 10 to second and 20.
Crowd back to pass. Intercepted, and there was the old tip drill. Number 6, Joe Eaton with the interception.
Number 75, Jeff Palmer, really put the pressure on Crowell, and he hit him real hard.
Well, he had to throw that one a little bit early, Coach.
Yeah, I think you're going to see it right there. He really laid the wood to him.
And look at the ball bounce up.
Yep.
We used to call that a tip drill. You still run that drill, Coach?
Oh, yeah, we tried to.
Butler with the ball. 1:05 left in the third quarter. Cutter underneath. One back in the backfield. Cutter's back to pass. And it's intercepted. That ball is intercepted. That ball is intercepted. And we're trying to see who came up with that football.
I think it was Marcus Johnson, but I'm not sure. It looked like it might have been.
Number 45, they're telling us here. Number 45, Troy Rutan on that interception.
Okay. Here we go. We'll get a chance to see it this time. Yes, it was.
Well, they're throwing some nice long passes to each other.
Yeah.
Butler showing blitz. There's the option again. And Crowell goes nowhere.
They've really
cut like down the man, option. I know, but that's me.
Number 91, Jack Fillenworth, and he has had an outstanding game.
I think he played his high school football for Kenny Leffler out at Cecina High School.
You're reporting the scores coming up.
Big Gary Puckett brings him up to the line of scrimmage. Crowd down under. Eye backfield with Hinthorn and Bender. And he looks quick. A quick pass over there to... Looks like number 85, Doug Saboten, who has been his favorite target this second half.
That's that quick look in, and we're going to see it again, Pete. He just fakes the running play.
And that's the end of the third quarter. The end of the third quarter, Indiana Central 14, Butler 15. And we'll be back in just a moment. Back at Butler Bowl, Pete Bell along with Coach Bob Springer. And Coach, a game that has turned out to be as exciting as we thought it would.
Yeah, I don't think you could ask for anything better, and I'll tell you what, this last quarter is going to really tell who needs it and who wants it the most. Because,
that's right, they're going to have to gut up now.
Yeah, they're both equal, like both of the coaches said. They do the same type of offense, same type of defense, so whatever team really wants this game the most will probably come out on top.
Indiana Central with the ball. 1st and 10. I'm sorry, 3rd and about 3. And there's a quick pitch back to Bender. And Bender has got some running room. He's out to the 45-yard line for a first down.
That was a saving tackle by Ron Bunt. Otherwise, he might have been long gone.
He certainly would have. Let's go down to the field quickly to talk to Milt.
Yeah, Pete, thanks a lot. Down here, the field, actually, the weather conditions have improved since the beginning of the game. The defense have finally decided they're going to take over. There's not been any points scored here in the second half. It's going to be ever the will of the defenses. In fact, I believe there's no injury reports so far in this hard-hitting contest. Back up to you, Pete.
Thanks a lot, Milt. And Milt's doing a heck of a job down there in the cold. Play fake, Crowell back to throw, and it's intercepted again. Intercepted and picked off, and there's a flag on the play. There's another flag down. And that ball was intercepted by number 20, the national interception leader, Rob Collins.
That's from Butler. There's 2 Collins.
That's right, there are 2 Collins out there. There's Tom Collins and Rob Collins.
Yeah, we got the wrong one there. I don't imagine Butler cares who, just somebody named Collins did it. Here comes the replay on it. This wasn't a very well thrown pass. I think the pressure might have gotten to Crowell a little bit there. You could see the clip, but a fine interception there for
Clipping on the run back, 1st and 10.
Rob comes from a very strong football heritage.
Is that right?
To LaSalle in Cincinnati, and that is one of those powers down there.
They play pretty good, don't they?
Well, Cutter trying to get his team moving. Split backfield, wide receivers to both sides of the field. And he just picked up 5 yards.
You work on that in practice, that long count, and you'd think a down lineman that close to the ball wouldn't jump, but they do with that different cadence.
Offsides defense.
And now we've got a 1st and 5. Coach Lynch has gone back to his starting backfield of Jay Barnhorst and Mickey Naylor. Barnhurst with the ball, looking for some running room. Tries the left side for about 2.
When you look back, we don't know the outcome of the game yet, but when you look back at that safety, Pete, and you look at that score, 15-14.
That's right. 2nd down and 2. Eye behind Cutter. Hand off to Naylor, trying to get outside. Naylor fumbles the football. And Indiana Central recovers the football. Coach, let's take a look at the 3rd quarter stats.
Okay, in the 3rd quarter, we had first downs for Indiana Central, 3, for Butler, 2. Rushing yards, we had 24 for Butler, 3 for Central. Passing yards, Indiana Central 71, Butler 7. Central had a total of 65 yards. Butler had 31 yards, and Butler had 2 turnovers, and that just makes the 3rd.
And I guess the important thing is Indiana Central is starting to stretch it. They've got a total of 215 yards. Butler has 148 total yards. Indiana Central now with a very good opportunity to score. Crowell back to pass, throws it up on a timing pattern. Looking for number 80, Brian Fogg, and Fogg was over there with number 25, Dwayne Branson, running step for step along with him.
That's his buddy. Okay, we're going to see it on the replay. It's just what we call a quick up pattern where he's trying to run by Branson, but he couldn't get it done.
Number 31, Hinthorn, the only back in the backfield. And Crowell's back to pass, throws over the middle, and the ball is dropped. That's an incomplete pass. He was looking for number 82, Dan Jester, and Jester had that one in his hands. Very catchable, just dropped it.
We're going to see this one again, Pete, and looked like he just didn't get his hands stretched out there and bring the ball in for some reason.
You know, but that's territory when you look for linebackers, too. When you throw in front of those linebackers, it'll make your hands do funny things.
You're wondering all the time, where are they hiding?
He's staying with that one-back offense. Hinthorn behind him, and he's back to throw again. Crowell's looking. He's got a man wide open, and one hops it to Brian Fogg.
Can they make a field goal from this distance, Pete?
Well, I don't know, Coach. You tell me.
43 yards with the win. They might. We're going to watch this pass play, the third down play, one more time here on the screen. I couldn't tell if it's tipped or he just threw it bad. Looked like it might have been tipped.
It might have been tipped. To answer your question, Coach?
Yeah, that answers my question.
Number 3, Mike Warner back. Ball's down. It's up. It looks good. It is good. And Indiana Central takes the lead again by a score of 17-15.
That 43-yard field goal.
43-yard field goal, Coach. You called it, and they're celebrating on the Indiana Central side of the field with good cause. The second half has been a defensive struggle. That 2 points could be the spread.
We have, 13:20 to go in the game, so Butler has plenty of time, but they do have to work against the wind. Those mistakes really hurt you. Butler got the ball back here in fine shape and then fumbled it away, and before you know it, your lead's gone.
Number 7, Eric Sabo, and number 21, Mickey Naylor, deep for Butler. Mike Warner, who just kicked that 43-yard field goal, tees it up. Indiana Central on top now by 2. And Warner really gets a foot into that one. Number 21, Naylor with the ball. Naylor looking for some running room. But excellent coverage by the Indiana Central special teams. And Butler starts out deep in their own territory at their 15-yard line.
You can really tell, not only from the player standpoint, but the fans from Indiana Central University. They're really fired up, and they're making some noise over there now.
They certainly are.
That's definitely going to help their defensive team get out there and play just a little bit harder.
And Butler now is mirroring the offensive set of Indiana Central earlier. 2 wideouts to the near side of the field, 1 back offense, and a quick pass. And I'm trying to see who was on that reception. Number 19, Paul Page. First down.
We're going to see it again. It's that pass over the middle again, and Cutter does a good job throwing it in there, and Page has to pay for the catch. He gets hit hard, but he held on to the ball.
And good defensive coverage by number 30, Steve Woods.
Real good.
Split backfield for Cutter. And Cutter's back. Good protection. He's got a man. He threw into double coverage that time, Coach, and I think he was looking for Page over there.
I think he could have ran the ball up the middle. It looked like the middle really opened up that time, Pete, and he might have picked himself up 10 or 15 yards, but he decided to throw it.
And Cutter
Let's see what happens here.
Cutter has 158 yards passing so far for the afternoon, Coach.
He needs about 40 more then, doesn't he? 38?
He sure does. And he's back to throw again. And he throws it right across the middle, in and out of the hands of number 19, Page. And Page had a good gain had he held on to that ball.
He wasn't looking for it quite that soon. I think he was surprised to see the ball there that quick, but Cutter was getting some pressure.
Well, isn't that why they call it a look pattern, Coach?
Yeah, that's why they call it a look in, but you want to look both ways.
Well, we've got a third down now and about 10. Ball on the Butler 27. 1 back in the backfield behind Cutter, and that's number 30, Jay Barnhorst. and that ball was knocked down, and the Indiana Central defense is playing what we could call inspired football right now. They're fired up.
They really are, and I think that was number 48 again, wasn't it? Schwartz, the leading sacker on the team.
It certainly was, and Schwartz has had an outstanding game, Coach.
It sure has.
Barnhorst back to kick. Kicks it deep.
It looked like old Bender was going to do the same thing. Looked like he was going to try and field that ball.
But he finally let that one float over his head. Good decision on Bender's part.
To get away from it. Well, let's see what Butler's defense can do now. They have to get the ball back for the offense in reasonable field position and give them an opportunity to get into the game again.
1st and 10, ball on Indiana Central's 22-yard line. Eye behind crowd. Number 86, Tom Williams, moves to the near side of the field. And there's a handoff to number 31, Brad Hinthorn. And Hinthorn is drilled.
That's that linebacker again, Ron Bunt. I tell you what, for a guy with a broken arm all year, he's done a great job for Butler. You can see that cast they were hanging down on the left hand, and I understand he's had it most of the season.
Most of the season. That's number 43, Ron Bunt. 6'1", 215 pounds, and he's a hitter. Again, the eye behind crowd. Number 82, Dan Jester, moves to the far side of the field. There's a quick pitch to the second back to John Bender, and Bender's looking for some running room, and he finds about 4 yards.
Butler's defense is coming to the task pretty well, aren't they?
Well, I think both defenses have tightened up.
I do too. They made good adjustments at the halftime, and you know that credits both coaching staffs. When you can go in at the halftime and adjust and come back and play good defense in the second half.
3rd down and 4. Puckett brings him up. Split backs behind crowd. Wide receivers to both sides. Crowd looking. He's being chased out of the pocket, and he's sacked. Number 75, big number 75, Jeff Palmer, 6'3", 230-pounder, was all over crowd.
He's had a good game.
He has had an outstanding game, but you know what? Credits the defensive backfield, credits the Butler defensive backfield for that sack, because he was looking to throw that quick in again. There was no way he could get the ball out. There's a look at Coach Lynch. Patton gets off a good kick. Fielded at about the 37-yard line of Butler, and number 79 and number 30 down on the hit for Indiana Central.
Pete, we have 9 minutes and 54 seconds. This game's starting to wind down.
It certainly is.
I'm sure the Butler staff's looking pretty closely at that clock.
High backfield by Butler. Quick pitch to number 7, Eric Sabo. Sabo trying to get outside. Good pursuit by the Indiana Central defense, and I don't think he got back to the line of scrimmage.
He might have been lucky if he did. Both defenses are fired up.
Coach, you took the words right out of my mouth.
They both came to play. Imagine we'll see Butler start throwing the ball a little bit more, about 3 out of every 4 downs from here on in.
Well, 9:25 left to play in the 4th quarter. Indiana Central 17, Butler 15. And Butler looking at a 2nd down and 11 from their own 36-yard line. Cutter is back to pass, throws the ball over the middle, looking for number 7, Eric Sabo, and just a lack of concentration that time. That was a catchable ball by Sabo.
Yeah, he checked out of the backfield there, and he could have made that catch. We're going to see it again here. Let's see just what did happen. There he is. He checked out.
He's wide open, Coach. Just a lack of I'll tell you what, number 48, Pete Schwartz, was on the move, and there should have been a holding call on that one, because whoever was blocking on him reached up and grabbed his leg and held him. Double wideouts to the near side of the field. Split backfield. Cutter under pressure, rolls away from it. He's looking, looks downfield, throws it, and that pass is complete. And I think that is Brad Prather over there on the reception, if I'm not mistaken. We'll see when he gets up. Number 86, Brad Prather on the reception. Good for a first down.
Well, they move inside of Indiana Central's territory, and like I say, the wind won't be as big a factor now, because let's see what it looks like on the replay. Oh, the quarterback does a great job, Cutter. He made the play.
1st and 10. Butler on the move. Cutter back to pass. He's looking and he's sacked.
Oh, Pete Schwartz again, wasn't it? Number 48.
Well, I see number 92, Thurman Montgomery, getting off the bottom of that stack, and you're right, Coach. Looks like number 49, Dave Jester, also over there to assist. 2nd down and 16.
Maybe that's who it was.
2nd down and 16. Split backfield. 2 wideouts to the near side of the field. Rob Cutter underneath, and he's back to throw. Good protection. Cutter's got a man out in the flat. And that pass is completed for a gain of about 3 yards.
We're going to get a replay on it to Reef.
And we've got an injured Indiana Central player on the field.
Looks like a little delay out of the backfield to the fullback, Reef.
Butler now looking at a 3rd down and 14.
I can't tell who the injured player is. I think it might be number 45, Troy Wooten, but I'm not sure.
I think you're right, Coach. That does look like Wooten down on the field.
He's the one that made the tackle, and evidently he might have got the helmet in his stomach and just knocked the breath out of him, it looks like. Let's hope that's all it is. You know, as hard as they've been hit, and there haven't been any injuries.
Surprisingly so. And again, a tribute to the coaching staff, because that means these kids are in excellent shape.
Yeah.
And I think he's just had the wind knocked out of him. Now I want to remind you that today's game is brought to you by Grand Slam Incorporated. Grand Slam, sports and entertainment management consultants. And there goes Wooten. He's moving off the field under his own power, and I'll tell you, he'll be back in here in a minute. You can't keep him out.
Now, he has to go out for one play, but he'll be right back in, I'm sure. He just took a little hit there and got a little soreness there in the stomach, probably.
All right, now, and the clock is moving. It's 7:41 to play. 3rd down and 14. Rob Cutter's underneath. He's got split backs behind him. Central's playing pass all the way. He's got good protection. He's looking downfield, and he's got his man good for a first down. And I think that's number 19, Paul Page, on the reception. And I'm sorry, that's not number 19, Paul Page. I'll get you a number in a minute. It's number 2, Wayne Smith. Wayne Smith.
Curled in over the middle, but he was smart enough to get deep enough for the first down.
14-yard reception, good for a first down, and Butler is on the move.
We're going to see it again here, Pete, but the kid does a great job getting the right distance. Bang, first down.
Reef and Sabo behind Cutter. Wide outs to both sides. Cutter's back. Reverse to number 19, Paul Page. And he's got some blockers in front of him. Page is on the move. He's going in. Page, and an excellent run by Page.
I'll tell you what, Pete, if number 30, Steve Wood, hadn't saved the day, Page would have been in the end zone, but he made an arm tackle.
I'll tell you, Coach, I thought he was gone. I didn't see anyone there that could stop him. An outstanding run by number 19, Paul Page.
Good defensive play at the end of the play by Steve Wood.
And Paul's got to get off the field. And this ball game is exciting. We've got a 1st and 10 from the Indiana Central and an excellent defensive play. We've got a 2nd and 12. That was number 61, Neil Frolby, up on the tackle.
He's played a great football game today.
We've called his name several times today, Coach.
Yeah.
Number 21, Mickey Naylor, trying to carry the ball. Number 7, Eric Sabo checks into the lineup. Todd Reith, Eric Sabo in the eye behind Cutter. Motion to the near side of the field with number 2, Wayne Smith. Cutter looking, and he's got
number 80.
Phil Jensen.
He was really in the coffin corner, wasn't he?
Well, I'll tell you, Rob Cutter has done an outstanding job of buying time.
Yeah, we're going to see it again. He did a great job here, Cutter did.
And he is getting awfully close to a record. That makes him 189 yards, Coach. And if I'm not mistaken, he's 9 yards away from the national record. Is that correct?
I think it's 195. He might only be 6 yards away, Pete. He's 6 yards away.
And there's a timeout on the field, Coach, and I think both coaches want to talk this over.
Well, it's an important series of downs. There's no question about it.
With 5 minutes and 57 seconds left to play in the fourth quarter. Third down, 2 yards to go. Third down, touchdown. They can't get a first down, obviously. So.
Well, if you don't do it, if you don't score on 30, you're going to kick the field goal.
No, I'm going for it.
You're going third and fourth.
Oh, okay. The way my defense is playing, Coach, I'm going for it. I'm going to leave them down there at the 1 yard line, and I'm going to make them move 98 yards.
Oh, Pete, I don't know about that one.
I don't know if I kick field goals, Coach.
Wait a minute. That may not be a job saver there. I think we better go for the 3 and win the game 18-17.
Well, that's true.
That's with about 10 minutes remaining in the ball game.
This is really a big down because it's 3rd and 2, and it's tough to get anything down here against a good goal line defense.
And they're switching people in. They're going to stack it. We're going to see 10 men across that line of scrimmage, and I'm going to have to sit down and watch this one. Full house backfield for the Blue. Cutter under. Indiana Central defense is stacked to the inside. Number 7, Sabo with the ball. Moves up, and did he get across the plane? Did he cross the plane? We're not getting a signal.
They say
we
no.
got fourth down.
Now what are we going to do?
Fourth down and a foot. I already gave you my play. Let's see what happens.
Here comes my play in, number 10.
And number 10, John Jenkins is coming into the game, and they're going for the winner right here.
Yeah, I think it's a good move. Surely it's shorter than an extra point, and they feel their defense is playing pretty good at this point in time. They don't have the right number of people on the field, though. He didn't get off. He did not get off of the field.
Well, now, I'd sit him down and talk to him because you hustle off the field, Coach.
They dropped the flag, and I don't know if it was... I think he called 12 people on the field. Let's listen to the referee, Tom Bolson.
Well, it went from a chip shot.
Illegal procedure, 6-man line, fourth down.
Oh, that's what it was.
They went from a chip shot to a chip shot, Coach.
Yeah. But that one's in your pocket.
That's
you
right.
made it.
That's true.
This one we haven't made yet, he says. Never push your luck twice.
Cutter to hold. The ball is down. Kick is up. And it hits the goalpost and bounces out. Do you believe that, Coach? Do you believe that? And that could very well be the ball game, Coach.
Yeah, and we talked the whole game about specialty teams, and we're going to get a replay of it, and it'll show the ball hitting the goalpost. He gets enough foot in it, and it hits the goalpost. See why coaches spend a lot of time with his specialists.
See, if you had done what I suggested, Coach, go for it.
Yes, sir. Got you.
All right, now let's watch the Butler defense dig in, and I'm looking for the Indiana Central offense to play conservative football right now.
No question. There's a flag down.
Bender's on the move. Bender is on the move, and he can fly.
Flag down in the backfield.
And that's normally in the area where there's an illegal block or holding. Is that
holding
right,
normally. It's coming back. That was a great run, too.
An outstanding run, but if you hold, you can run like that, Coach.
Wise coach once told me if they catch you one time, hold for sure the next time. They won't call it.
4 minutes and 56 seconds left in the fourth quarter of what has been an outstanding football game.
It has been exciting, hasn't it?
Still first.
It's first and 20 now for the Greyhounds, now 10.
Butler still has time if her defense digs in. We have 4 minutes and 56 seconds left, Pete.
Indiana Central with the first down, 1st and 10 from their 10-yard line. Handoff right up the middle. Number 31 carrying the ball, Brad Hinthorn, and Hinthorn gained about 2 yards.
Nobody's leaving the stadium today, Pete. They're all standing around and they're all excited.
And that was a 1-yard gain, a 2nd down 19.
That was that middle trap with Hinthorn again, and they've run that an awful lot today.
The eye behind Crowell. An excellent pass by Crowell.
I was a little bit surprised to see that, but it was a well-thrown ball. Here comes the replay of it. It's just a look-in pass again, and it's not a dangerous pass, but even at that, something could go wrong. You could tip it or one thing or another.
Well, we've got a 3rd down and 6 and a big defensive down for the Butler Bulldogs. Crowell looks it over. On the draw, and it goes nowhere. So Butler defense has done a good job and made a good defensive stand. Turned the ball over to their offense, and their offense should get the ball in good field position. 3 minutes and 25 seconds, 3 minutes and 20 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Indiana Central leading by a score of 17-15. And it's an excellent kick. Coming down to number 19, Paul Page. And Page is looking for running room, runs into a crowd of defenders at the 50-yard line. But Butler starts with good field position. 3 minutes and 2 seconds left in the fourth quarter. 3 minutes and 2 seconds left in the game.
And 3 timeouts, so if they've got anything in them left, they've got plenty of time and plenty of timeouts.
Okay, what do you do now, Coach?
Oh, you throw the ball. You've got the best passer in the history of the school. You have to throw it.
We don't take any more chances on field goals, right?
Not unless we get down there again.
And they came out throwing. And number 48, Paul Schwartz, had one heck of a rush coming in on Cutter, and I think he was held a little bit.
I'm sure that the referee, Tom Bolson, threw that flag.
You think he was held a whole lot, huh, Coach?
A whole lot.
Somebody...
Let's look at it.
Let's see if we can catch the hold. Probably here on this side of the screen towards us.
Second down and 20.
Second down.
Ready when you are.
Second down and 20. 2:58 left in the fourth quarter. Indiana Central 17, Butler 15, and what a ball game. Eye behind Cutter. Wide receivers to both sides. Cutter back to pass. Getting pressure from that guy, number 48, and he's sacked by Pete Schwartz. He's sacked for a loss of an additional 10 yards. Let's go down to the field and talk to Milt.
Yeah, Pete, what's going on down here is that there's a lot of emotions happening, a lot of emotions going on. The kicking game is obviously very, very important. They've had a real tough kicking game. The Butler fans are trying to implore their young kicker on and say, we can get it done down here the stretch. Just hang with us. Back up.
A big one, Milt. And Cutter is back to pass. Number 48 trying to get through to him again. He's looking over the middle for number 27. And is it complete? No, it is not complete. It is not complete. Cutter was looking across the middle.
We're going to see another shot of this. They got a lot of yards to make up, 32 yards, and like they say, he would have gotten a little bit of it back if he had a little bit better pass.
Well, he was looking for Melbourne across the middle, but that ball was just poorly thrown. And number 10, Jenkins, is back to punt, but I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised if they didn't kick the ball.
4th and 32, they almost have to, don't they, Pete?
I don't know. I don't know. No, I've only seen one fake today.
Yeah. And it didn't work.
It didn't work. Now, you're right, Coach. That didn't work. So we won't do that.
No, we won't do that. We're going to gamble. We'll line up in our offensive formation and let the real quarterback throw. I think that's what they're going to do anyway. They're thinking about it.
Not a lost down penalty.
I thought they lost it down, but I guess they didn't.
Well, I thought they lost it down on the. I thought they lost it down on the.
It's only 3rd down. On the penalty, I think they moved the down up and didn't bring it back, and the officials have caught it now. It's 3rd and 32. No decision time on that. That's easy.
Oh yeah, I know what to do on this one.
Just how to do it.
Number 27, Mike Melbourne, split wide out. Number 19, Paul Page at the top of your screen.
We got a delay in game. The referee's over talking to Billy Lynch, Tom Bolson, explaining to him what happened, and I'm not sure what happened. I think they just moved the down marker and didn't bring it back.
Well, number 5, Cutter, the 6'4", 185-pound sophomore who has had an outstanding season, over talking to his young coach, Billy Lynch.
He probably looks older than the coach. We're going to leave it at 3rd down, it looks like, Pete. So looks like Butler will have 2 downs to make 32 yards. I tell you, it's really been a great football game.
It's been an outstanding football game and some outstanding individual performances.
There's just no question about it. The defensive play of both teams, you can tell that they were well prepared for the game, and they knew pretty well what to expect from the offenses, and I've been really impressed with this football game.
Melbourne to the near side of the field. Page to the far side of the field. 2 backs set behind Cutter. 3rd down and 32. 2 minutes and 16 seconds left to play in the 4th quarter. Cutter back to pass. He's getting some pressure. He eludes the pressure the first time. Throws over the middle to number 27, Mike Meller.
We've got a replay coming. He picks up about 10 yards, Pete, but they need 32. You can see him back in the pocket. He scrambles free and puts the ball right in there. But Butler's punting.
And that's surprising with 1:46 seconds left for Butler to put the ball up.
Well, they have 3 timeouts, so they figure they might be able to get the ball back.
26-yard line where the Greyhounds take over 1st and 10.
Well, Coach, you know, we have had some outstanding efforts by individual players today, and it's very difficult to single out one player.
Well, like I say, we've had offensive players and defensive players. I do know the running back from Indiana Central, that little freshman, Dink Bender, has to be given a lot of consideration.
Well, Dink Bender has done an outstanding job, as have many of the other players. But if I was choosing one, I think I'd have to go with big number 48, Pete Schwartz, who has been in the Butler backfield all day long.
But I would expect that from a defensive lineman to go for a defensive lineman.
Well, Coach offensively likes likes number 22, Dink Bender, who has had an outstanding game, Coach.
Well, I think for a freshman and taking over for a good running back like Kenny Gillum, and I really think he had the momentum early in the game that Indiana Central needed. And I'd have to give him a long look as the most valuable player.
Well, in the waning seconds of the fourth quarter, a minute 34 seconds left. Indiana Central 17, Butler 15. We've got a second down and 8 at the 28-yard line of Indiana Central. Butler can just at this point hope there is time. Hope to get a turnover and get themselves back into field goal range.
They should get the ball back at least one more time, Pete.
Out of the eye, Hinthorn with the ball straight ahead for a gain of about 1-2 yards.
Okay, here we go.
Third down and 7.
Well, they have one more timeout. They'll use it probably after this play, and then they'll try and move the ball down the field by throwing the ball towards the sideline and getting the receiver out of bounds, and then try and kick the field goal.
Minute 29 left to play in the fourth quarter.
You can see Billy Lynch over in the sideline talking to his offense, and they're talking about the 2-minute drill, how they can move the ball down the field in a short period of time.
I want you to remember that today's game has been brought to you by Grand Slam Incorporated. Grand Slam, sports and entertainment management consultants.
Those teams practice that 2-minute drill, so they'll feel comfortable with the offense once they get back on the field.
Minute 29, so a long time left to play. Number 22, Dink Bender in motion. Handoff to number 31, Brad Hinthorn, and Hinthorn is stopped short of a first down. Minute 20.
Well, when you talk about most valuable, that Hinthorn, he's sure done a good job today.
Hinthorn has done an outstanding job, and he is just a hard-nosed running back.
He sure is, and he blocks real well at that fullback position.
And they're just taking their time getting on the field, Coach, and they might take a penalty.
They may. They may.
Number 19, Page, deep to receive.
Yeah, they took the penalty.
Against the Greyhounds.
You know, Ron Bunce had a great football game today, too, you know, and you just go back and...
Delay a game against the offense. Fourth down. Clock will start on the snap.
When you talk about those good players, there were a lot of them.
47 seconds left. Indiana Central 17, Butler 15. Mike Warner takes the snap and fumbles the ball. He fumbles the ball. He fumbles the ball.
What a change of events.
And did this one turn around quickly? 42 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Butler with a first down and 10 at the Indiana Central 20-yard line. And for those of you who already left, you should have been here with us.
I don't think there were many.
No, the ones that left just went up and stood on the bridge. Cutter's back. He's looking. He's got a man.
They have no timeouts.
He's got number 86, Tom Williams, for a 9-yard pickup. 31 seconds left. Cutter brings him up. 28 seconds left. Throws it out of bounds to stop the clock. 22 seconds left. Third down and 1. Ball is on the 11-yard line. Indiana Central 17, Butler 15, and is this a ball game, Coach?
Well, we're really down to that decision again. Are we going to run another play or kick the field goal down?
I'm going to kick the field goal, Coach.
Well, Billy isn't. Billy's going to run one more play. We're not kicking yet. It's not fourth down now.
22 seconds, Coach. 22 seconds. Fourth quarter. He's being chased. He's looking. He's got a man. Oh! And that pass was intended for number 2, Warren Culpepper. Oh, not Warren Culpepper. Wrong team, Wayne Smith.
Here comes the replay. And Pete, he almost got sacked when he was sprinting out
I'm telling
of that
you,
pocket.
he did.
I think you were right when they should have kicked the field goal. Whew. Holy.
And good coverage over there by number 29, John Kennedy.
What a great game, and what a great way to end it, huh?
This is up. This has been an outstanding. And you know what? This is what amateur athletics are about. This is excitement.
Yeah, these kids have gone from the beginning to the end, given everything they had.
And we've got a player down on the field.
I can't read the young man's number, and it's pretty hard to see from here, so...
Right, I can't see who it is either, Coach, but let's hope he'll be all right.
Just look at the people. They're all standing, Pete, and they've had a great afternoon of entertainment.
Well, I don't care where you went to watch football today. You couldn't see a better game than we've had here.
That's for sure. I tell you, these 2 coaching staffs have done a fine job, and Billy Lynch really shows you what he's made out of. Montgomery is a young man that's down.
And number 92, Thurman Montgomery. Montgomery has had an outstanding game today, too, Coach. There are so many players who have had such great individual efforts. But Montgomery's moving off under his own speed. He looks all right. Okie doke, here we go.
All boils down to one play now.
Number 5, Cutter, the hold. Number 10. Jenkins back, and Jenkins is thinking about this one. There's the snap. The ball is down. The kick is up. The kick is good. The kick is good, and Butler takes the lead by 1 point. Butler leads the game 18-17 with 14 seconds left in the 4th quarter. And, Coach, this one's not over yet.
Well, not the way things have been going, but it'll be very difficult in 14 seconds to go the length of the field.
The only thing I can say, Coach, is woo, woo.
But, you know, the one thing about coaching, my heart goes out to Bill Bless, because you very seldom have an opportunity to go undefeated and win a championship. And this one game would probably hurt him more than winning 10 other ones. You know what I mean? And really, the man and his staff has really prepared their team just in an excellent fashion, and then have a freak thing like a fumble, you know, change the whole output of your whole season.
Now, Coach Lynch has told his troops, fellas, let's go out there, let's don't make any mistakes.
Well, they'll squib the ball. They won't kick it deep, I don't think.
And Jenkins, the young man who just put Butler ahead, tees it up.
Well, they did kick it long.
There's the kick. Number 22, John Bender with the ball. And Bender made an error. Bender should have tried to get out of bounds. 9 seconds left. 9. Indiana Central takes over. 1st down and 10 at the Indiana Central.
You can just
15-yard line. Or, I'm sorry, 18-yard line.
The crowd is just as excited if it was a bunch of high school students, you know?
That's for sure, Coach.
It's in a very excited crowd. You can see all the Butler kids lined up along the fence over there because the stands have really emptied out, and I imagine that goalpost might be in jeopardy. I'm not sure.
Well, I see the Butler police at the other end of the field, so maybe we're going to have another game going on out here. What's the strategy now, Coach? 9 seconds left. You got time for 2 plays, maybe. Do you try to get some yardage and then go for the deep one, or do you go twice deep?
What they'll try and do, I'm sure, is put 3 receivers to one side of the field and just run them down and hope somebody tips it into one of their players' hands.
Or they get a defensive call.
Yeah, that's what basically people do now in the pros and the college.
Look at this. You would look where. Do you think they intend not to let them get behind them?
I don't think there's any question.
Well, here it is. 9 seconds. 1st and 10 from the 18-yard line of Indiana Central, and there's a short pass complete to the outside, and that should be the ball game, and it is. Indiana Central defeated by Butler by a score of 18-17. We'll be back in just a moment with a wrap-up of this ball game.
These pretty. Yeah! Right, they are Christmas seals, and the American Lung Association asked you to support the Christmas Seal campaign. Listen, who are we going to talk to today? I'm going to really tell them not to smoke, because you've got to take care of your lungs. They are only human. Oh, you really know something. Take care of your lungs. Support the Christmas Seal campaign.
The American Lung Association, the Christmas Seal people.
Well, Coach, we got out of that one just a little bit too quick. Apparently, looking at the clock had expired. But apparently there were 2 seconds left. So Indiana Central now has one last chance to put some points on the scoreboard.
Well, I think what happened, they called timeout, and probably the signal was not recognized up here in the booth where the time on the clock is being kept. But you can see Butler's 2 defensive safeties are 56 yards from the line of scrimmage.
Playing a bit deep, huh?
Yes.
This has been one of the most exciting football games I've had an opportunity to see in a long time, Coach.
Yes, it is.
Crowd back. He's got number 80, Brian Fogg. Fogg pitches it to number 22, who's going to be run out of bounds, John Bender. And I think I can safely say this time, Coach, that this game is history. This one is history. Final score, Butler 18, Indiana Central 17. An outstanding football game. This time, Coach,
it is a great football game.
It was, really. Let's take a break, come right back. We'll wrap this one up.
Big Brothers is a friendship matching one man and one boy with similar interests. We've served close to 2,000 boys in Indianapolis alone. Boys who were alone until someone like you called us and became involved. There are many boys waiting for a big brother. If you're a good, responsible man, 21 or older, call Big Brothers right now.
Do you have a big brother for me yet?
Not today, kid. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow.
Back at Butler Bowl, and let's go down to the field with Milt Thompson, who has 2 of today's stars with him.
Thanks, Pete. We are here with the co-players of the game. First of all, a tough performance, a comeback performance. We've got the quarterback, Rob Cutter. How's it like coming back and fighting back to win this ball game?
Feels great. Feels great. We had a struggle in the first quarter, and there in the third quarter, but we always knew we could do it. Coach Lynch has always said, it's never over till it's over, and we kept going.
Well, you had a teammate over here that struggled on a field goal effort, and what were you thinking about that time of the ball game?
The last one, I knew he'd get it because he's been kicking well all year, and I've been holding for him all year, and I knew he has the piece of mind, this toughness to get through.
How about being the top dog champion?
It's great. It's great. It's my first victory in the top dog game, or first game in the top dog game, and I never feel better.
I'll tell you what, you've got a big future in front of you. Congratulations on the victory.
Thank you very much.
Over here, our other most valuable player of the game is a freshman, John Jenkins, who earlier in the contest had missed a little chip shot field goal, looked over on the bench, looked like he was down on himself a little bit. His teammates said, "We're going to get you another chance." That chance came along, and he put it through the uprights. What were you thinking about when you missed that first field goal?
I felt bad. I know how bad the seniors want this game, and that's all I was thinking about mainly. I don't know what I did on the field goal, but wasn't what I wanted.
Well, your teammates came and picked you up. What did they have to say to you?
They knew we were going to have another shot. They knew the game was ours, and they knew we could win it. And they had confidence in me, and I had enough confidence in myself, luckily, to come through.
So when you got out there for that winning field goal, what was going through your mind at that point?
Kick the ball through the uprights.
And you got it through the uprights. What about your first game as a top dog participant?
It was exciting. I was up all week, and first game I was totally into it. It was a great game. I loved it.
Congratulations on winning the top dog contest. We've got our most valuable players of the game, Rod Cutter, the quarterback, and John Jenkins, the tough field goal kicker. Back up to you, Pete and Bob.
Thanks, Milton. Congratulations to both those young men for an outstanding performance today. Coach, this game came down to a field goal with 27 seconds left. a 27-yard field goal with 14 seconds left. An even game. The game, 1 point between the two teams. So it was exactly as we said going in. The teams were almost just about perfectly even. Let's take a look at the final stats, and you might want to go through those, Coach.
Okay, well, you can see Butler led first downs 14-11, and Indiana Central led to rushing 120 to Butler's only 40 yards, but Butler led to passing, and that was their forte all year, 221 to 128, and by golly, the total yards only 13 difference, but the big difference was in turnovers. And another thing, 7 turnovers that's a lot of turnovers in one game. You go back and look at the safety, and then you look at the first field goal down here missed by the Butler kid late in the game here. So, like I say, they're just too close to call.
Well, Coach, I have enjoyed this football game, I think, as much as any game I have ever done, and obviously, again, very much enjoyed working with you.
Thank you, Pete, and I've enjoyed it myself, and I think it was a real treat for us and all the fans to be a part of this game.
Okay, today's game was brought to you by Grand Slam Incorporated, sports and entertainment management consultants. Any reproduction of this game without expressed written consent of Grand Slam Incorporated is strictly prohibited. With the final score, Butler 18, Indiana Central 17, I'm Pete Bell speaking for Bob Springer and Milt Thompson saying thanks for watching.